Alright, looks like I am live and good. My audio inputs are working. So, hello everybody. Welcome to the stream here, coming from Scarworld 2, Electric Boogaloo. And right now I'm just kind of chilling out in my starter house, if I can get the camera to actually situate right. Actually, you've gone through and done some decorations here, so it's been a while. I have been extremely busy this week, and while I've been playing a lot on the server, I have not had a chance to really show my content, so just going to go around and do a bit of a tour here so you can kind of see what exactly I've been up to. So again, this is just the interior of my starter house. Got some decorations done, very basic, nothing too particularly fancy here. Do have the new armor stand book, which includes the item frames changed, so I could leave the book there. So I thought that was interesting. Just got a bedroom tucked back in here. I'm just using trapdoors to kind of make the false wall for that. Popping up over here, we've got I've got some cats running around from the villagers. I haven't bothered taming them just yet. Just a simple enchanting setup here, just so I could run through for some of my gear. That's my little AFK hideaway spot that I'll go to. And then going back down in here, we can show some of the outside. Over there is what we're going to be working on for at least the first part here today is my iron farm. I've got part of the modules in, and Ancient Undertaker has been working with me on that one. So we've got that partially filled. It is producing, it's just not very quick. When we fill in the additional modules, it will expand out farther. I put up a berry farm. So I have some trading spaces. Hey guys, I see you shuffling in here. So yeah, just kind of go around doing the basic tour of things. So inside the barn here is where I put up my berry farm. You can see the foxes all tucked in here, and they tend to do a pretty good job. They're for the most part, they tend to keep the berries pretty well set. We're a little bit laggy right now, so it might they're slowing down a little bit, but it's still shuffling away. And then they all just fill in here. Actually, I will go ahead and grab some of them to fill in with my villagers. All the overage is going into the composter here and gets me bone meal, so that way I'm not losing anything and I'm not overloading the server. As we kind of come down in here, this is the area going down into the mine. I did some very minor decorations just for the entryway. There's where my nether portal sits. I've got a couple of very, very simple farms set up here. Just a single observer running on the line of pistons there, just a break for sugarcane, and then that just feeds into here. This is just a water source for filling in these places. Very simple, just a 4 cactus set up here. This is not extremely quick. It doesn't need to be. Honestly, I'm kind of intentionally leaving it so they're a bit slow. I will show you the berries here in just a second. This down here is just an automatic kelp farm. I've only got a couple of observers here. I'm not super worried about this filling in super quick once they grow up, but it just gives it a chance once they grow. The observers fire, and then there's pistons down at the bottom that'll break the kelp so that it all just come up, shuffles into here. Just gives me a little bit of a fuel source here. And then down in here is where I have the farmers, and you will recognize Scar's super efficient design that I've copied here. He actually managed to pop in and saw this the other day, and that gave him a chuckle. But yeah, the berries are for trading with my butchers over here. And actually, if I can wake one of you guys up. There we go. So this is how I get my emeralds. And so far, I have actually been keeping pace pretty well with just these guys. I've only got 4 of them right now. I haven't expanded out into like a full complex trading hall at this particular point. That'll come down the road. This is all it's all starter stuff. We're still in the first week, so I don't anticipate being super advanced at this particular point, but you can see I've there's a bunch of unorganized junk in here, but I actually have been producing quite a bit. I'm just moving some things around so that it's a little bit more organized here, but yeah, you can see where all the everything has started to develop on here. So we've got 2 stacks and a bit of emeralds. I almost have enough for an emerald beacon, and I did manage last night. I managed to get 3 wither skulls. I have not fought the wither yet, but that is planned in the upcoming time frame. So yeah, I could almost go ahead and just get myself a beacon with emeralds. These are my villagers that are going to be making their way up into the farm here. And once we get that going, I had a different extraction method. Agent Undertaker used this one, which is fine. It's already stretched out here, so we'll deal with that. Just down that way goes down into the actual mine, where I've just been digging out, got some diamonds. I had a couple of sales on a few basic things, so we've been doing all right there. But yeah, you can see the actual starter house here. I've kept it all just as spruce. My concept for this one, I did not want to end up with a chest monster at my starter house, so I have made my house itself the chest monster. I have barrels in the base here, and this is where all my junk is just thrown in. It gives me plenty of storage space, but it's decorative. So that way I don't have to worry about this being all, getting chests crazy laid out everywhere. I managed to get away. I only had 2 chests just for my initial starting, just so I had a place to throw stuff down while I was putting this together. But since then, I've pretty much filled that in, and I only have a handful of pieces of storage in specific areas for the exact the farms and that sort of thing. Like I got the 1 barrel down there, and that was for all the farming items because I was still setting that up for the food. I have one over here you'll see for my supplies with the bee farm. This is just a single bee's nest. I did manage to set up redstone. I'll show you that here in a little bit because it's a very simple mechanism. But you can see it's chipping away right now. Right now I've got it loaded with shears, so it'll just load honeycomb for me. I would like to actually get some more of the nests and use them decoratively as a floor block, because that has just a nice but subtle texture difference with the wood texture. So I want to play around with that a little bit, but obviously I need honeycombs for that. I've got an automatic sheep farm over here. Right now they're all just white. I'll probably re-dye them at some point. I don't have a need to mess with it further at this point, just so I have wool for like beds and that sort of thing. But you can see this is chipping away here. They just keep running through. Actually, I have a single shepherd villager, and I just use him to buy my shears off of, so it doesn't even cost me any iron. And I've just got all of those full, so those will just detect. But here, let me show you the redstone real quick on this honey farm. It is extremely, extremely simple. I've got the double door here just to make sure the bees can't get out while I'm coming in. They usually don't mess with it, but I just want to make sure because they are a pain in the neck to try and get corralled in here. So the way this works, we've got the nest here, and you can see when I right click on there, well, it's kind of hard with the chat, but you can see when I right click there, you'll see the honey level. Right now it's at a 3, and it goes up to 5 eventually. That 5 gives us an output on the comparator. So once it reaches the full level, the honey level 5 is when you'll see it dripping honey and that sort of thing. It reaches an output of 5. To make it so that once it reaches that level of 5 and it fires, and just to kind of compact things down, I have another comparator coming off here, coming off from this dropper. A dropper with 64 and 60 items in it puts out an input of 4. And then I put this comparator in subtract mode. So it's taking this output minus this output, and then whatever it gives here. When this is in excess of 5, so if the output from this is 4 or lower, and because the output coming in here is here, it subtracts that. That gives us an output of 0. Or negative. There's no negative redstone, so there's nothing coming out. So when this is 4 or less, this stays off. You don't get any signal. As soon as this reaches 5, once the honey is full, it now puts an output of 1, which goes into the stone. The stone then powers this piece of redstone dust here. It hits the repeater just so I can stretch the signal out. And then that goes into this piece of stone, which powers the dispenser that has my shears in it. When that dispenser's powered, it clips. That sets it back to 0, and then it all resets. And then I just have a hopper minecart underneath that will pick up the honey comb so that it can just get fed by hopper into there. It's not super quick, but it's very compact and very simple, and someone who's a redstone noob, I think, could probably figure this out. I do plan eventually, I'm going to be putting up a redstone academy in Scarworld here, so that people who are redstone noobs can kind of come through and look at things. I don't consider myself a redstone expert, but with everything I did in the first Scarworld and setting stuff up from my base between all the farms and the doors and that sort of thing, I learned a ton by doing it, and I just want to make sure I share that with people. just so you kind of have your hands on with things and you can kind of figure stuff out. So this will be put up in, like I said, eventually I will put up a Redstone Academy and just do the real simple circuits like this. It's a slightly advanced mechanic just because you're actually dealing with outputs with comparators and that sort of thing, but I hope that makes it make sense. I tried to keep the description as simple as I possibly could there. At least it made sense to me, and I don't consider myself a redstone expert. The stuff is still just kind of magic in certain regards. But hey, I got it to work. I was able to figure it out, so anybody should be able to figure that out. Oh yeah, we have Captain Bob down there, and he's got a turtle first mate. I haven't given his first mate a name yet, but they just took over that boat. I've just kind of left them there. So yeah, just kind of backing up, getting another view of things here. We've got I really liked how I did this chimney, and this is specifically with the 1.16 update with how the walls connect. I really like just the subtle difference this makes, rather than having to do this out of full blocks, so that you have it here. It gives you, when you look at it from the top, it's just kind of a plus shape. But with this here, it gives you that little bit of just a subtle gradation to move between them. I mean, you could have done this with walls before, but you would have had the disconnected textures in between. It just would have looked weird. But now it's just nice and smooth and flows through. I really like how that has turned out. So I am in approval of that update that they made with things. Let's go ahead. I'm going to pop over to the shopping district. I will show you guys some things that we've been working on here, and give you just if you aren't on the server yet. I know there's a couple of people that haven't been able to get in yet, but it'll give you kind of an idea of what some other people have been working on here as well. Just waiting for the Nether to teleport me. There we go. You got a little bit of lag there. So yeah, my portal is actually close enough to 2 halls that I just went ahead and dug through. So we're extremely close to spawn. I think we are a little bit south and east of spawn, or was it north and east? I don't remember off the top of my head for the cardinal directions. I don't think we've labeled the tunnels just yet, other than where the main districts are. But yeah, you can see, so we've got the Dwarven and Elven district. Wild West is out that way. Out there is where in the Nether is where the Wither Skeleton Fortress is. So I was over there the other night and managed to get a hold of some skulls. We got the Pirate District, Mining Deserts this way, the Space District, Shopping District is, oh yeah, and the Enchanted Forest, and then Shopping District is down this way. So we'll pop on over here. Oh, real quick, before I forget. We have had an infestations of signs coming through in the Nether, and it's just been hilarious. It's one of the ones real close here, unless they took them down, if it finally got ridiculous enough. Oh, nope, they're still there. So it started with a couple. This is just one of these things that happen when you're on a Minecraft server playing with other people. It started with just a couple of signs, and it's just exploded from here. Everyone just keeps throwing signs up. And we've actually got full song lyrics. I went and did this one last night. And posted this around. So, yeah, if you come through in the server, you can actually go through and read songs on this one. But it's just hilarious. Alright, back over to the shopping district. Let's go through. But yeah, this just shows some of the crazy stuff that it happens when you get a bunch of people playing together. I mean, especially with the people as crazy as, Scar fans. I could definitely see something like that happening on Hermitcraft too. Yeah, and we also have farm animals that have come through in the Nether that have been stuck in boats, so I don't know what the plan is with those, but they're just kind of there, and I don't know if they're going to remain permanent fixtures or not, but they're there for now. Here we go. Okay, so we popped through on the Nether. We've got a bunch of very tiny pop-up shops that kind of showed around in the immediate vicinity, and people are still working on some of these. But you can see some of the other shops that are going through. Of course, we have the giant multicolor sheep has made a comeback from Scarworld 1. That was the pretty much the exact same build. Oop, I fell into the... this is where you go to get the armor stand book. But yeah, pretty much the exact same build that we saw in the last time. We got the slime shop. That is making a bunch of diamonds here early on, just because it's really hard to find slime chunks. We've got one of our bookstores. Some little food stands. Again, I'm pretty sure these are probably going to end up getting changed out for other things. We're limited to one shop per person. So I think people are just selling some quick, easy early game items, and then eventually people are going to get their own farm set up. They won't really need to be buying them anymore, so those will probably go away and get switched over into other types of shops. There's an iron shop. We've got a couple of different ones around. I haven't visited all of these just yet. I honestly haven't needed to buy too much. I've been kind of enjoying the grind of getting stuff myself again. It used to be, playing on Scarworld 1 for so long, you just get used to being able to just pop over to the shopping district and just buy whatever you need. You don't have to gather stuff. And, yeah, I've kind of missed that a little bit. Part of Minecraft is being able to just sit and chill and grind out for certain blocks. But this is the shop that I'm doing with Commander Cascade. So we have called it Kaz, just because it's a combination of our names. Put my interface off on there, so we're trying to do it. The building was kind of inspired by like a Pier 1 sort of look at, because we're just doing a lot of stuff with interiors and design and that sort of thing. But we kind of made it look sort of like a fancy department store was really what we were going for. So we've got some things coming through in here. Yeah, it isn't open just yet, but you can see we're setting up for some of the armor stands and the heads and that sort of thing. We're planning to sell custom heads, custom maps, banners, that sort of thing. And then Commander Cascade is going to be doing... Did we have a... That was an Enderman that dropped that off. I was just here last night and I know that wasn't there. But Commander Cascade's planning to do some decoration services, so you can hire him out to kind of fill in some of your interiors and that sort of thing. So he's got doing a couple of display rooms for stuff showing around. You can see some of the ideas he's got here. Let's see, we've got... Oh, he's just set up a lounge for us. So we can sit chill. Oh, yeah, we have the... let me get an empty hand. We have this set up now, so if I do that, if you right-click on either a slab or staircase, you go into a sit position. So you can actually use that to sit places. So I thought that was interesting. And then you just dismount it. I love using that picture for TVs, by the way. Just that fight scene. I always just find that one hilarious. So we've got in here, this is where you can get some of the custom heads. We've had some issues with the head mod, so it's been interesting seeing that one go around. The mechanics are broken, so these ones right now aren't working. That's supposedly fixed. We just haven't gone through and done a big killing session of us just slicing each other's head off to make extracted ones. The Scar skin was the first one I wore. And for whatever reason, blocks keep reverting back to that skin with this broken mechanic. So, like here, I will take the B-Ralis one, if I can get it to pop off. When I place it down, now you can see when it's in my hand, it's normal. If I place it on my head, it's the way well, I probably shouldn't say it's normal, but this is definitely not normal. But this is what it's supposed to be. Anyway, once I go to place this on the ground... Oh! Did that fix it? What it was doing was reverting back to the Scar head, to the first one that I had reverted to. Maybe that did fix the broken ones as well. Let me try it with the others. Because that was the original. Okay, no. Now that one now reverts to the B-Ralis. So sometimes the mechanic breaks and it reverts back to other skins. It's really, really weird. There's like a specific order to it, and it does just some really goofy stuff. So yeah, these heads are cursed. But I kind of love playing with them. What I ended up doing, I actually made these ones all tend to work the same. So you can see that was where we hit a bunch of them. And then we started on the next ones. And then they were being weird. So what I did with to use the broken mechanic, I had this one, which is just a diamond block. And then I basically just set up like a 3-card Monty thing. So I would do this. It was reverting to the Scar head. But now it's the B-Ralis I would... Oh, now it's doing that one. That is really weird. This thing doesn't even break consistently. I have no idea what it's doing. But basically, I went behind a blocked off area so you couldn't see which one I put where, and I had it on top of 3 pistons. And then I told people, pay a diamond, and then pick a piston to break. If they break the one that has the diamond block that stays as the diamond block, I give them back 3 diamonds. If not, then I keep the diamond. Like I said, just do it like a basic 3-card Monty setup to make use of the broken mechanic. But yeah, this whole thing is really weird with these cursed heads. So it's been interesting to play with. Yeah, that right there is just because of lag. So it's interesting, but yeah, I try to come up with some ideas to make use of it. When you run into a mechanic like that, you got to come up with something creative for it. It's really strange. So, but these are just a couple of heads. I have an absolute ton of custom skins that I've picked up for decorating blocks. Obviously the Scar ones. Those are the ones that I made for myself. I had like the dark side and light side Scar. So I'll probably bring those back at some point, just where you can buy the heads. But yeah, I've picked up a bunch of different skins that we'll have for availability, and we'll put them into some of the decorating things. I think the plan is to kind of change these out from time to time, so you can get a better idea of what stuff there is in here. Just get some other ideas. So yeah, Commander's Cactides also set up an office for himself. You can see just where he's used a couple of the decoration blocks around here. I haven't messed too much with it because I have my own office. And I decorated that. A lot of this was armor stand work. But anyway, this is where we're planning to do the surfaces. So he's planning to do more like interior decorations. I'm planning to do like armor stands. I can set those up. So if you need armor stand work and you don't know how the book works, you want to have somebody either just come in and do it, or if you want to have somebody hire to tutor you on it, feel free, come by. We'll negotiate rates. We'll see how that all works out from there. To show off, we also have the upstairs area, and we kind of have this as the gallery. Right now, we've just got it populated with what mini blocks we've been able to get a hold of, and planning to sell those. Obviously, this is going to end up expanding further as we get more and more wandering traders and have a chance to trade for more of them. But they're all just kind of at random chance for what we can get a hold of. We may end up expanding this out taller. I think that was the idea. Oh, and you can see out the back here, I don't actually have a shop planned for this. This was just purely decoration. Again, since we were doing a sort of a Pier 1 knockoff, I was going to have a pier going off into the water. Since it's not actually in the shopping district, I figured, okay, I can go with the water and just have room to decorate that out. So yeah, I'm actually doing that. I suppose it doesn't quite work as much since we're not doing a pun off of that name, but I still wanted to build the ship, so I'm planning to do that here. I will finish that eventually, and I figure just making it like a sort of a cargo ship and that sort of thing. But if somebody actually wants to use that space from the ship that I'm building and make it into a shop, by all means, just reach out to me. You can use that. I'm not going to really even charge anything for it, just because of the space being used up. Again, that was just pure decoration that I had set up there. So let me go over it. I'll show this off a little bit. Yeah, so if anybody playing wants to actually use this thing for their shop, just let me know, and yeah, you can jump in here. We'll decorate it out. If you want me to do armor standing work for it to customize it, we can negotiate that as well. Right now, it's all just very basic setups on here. I haven't done a whole heck of a lot other than build the structure. I am loving this blackstone that I picked up. You can get in the Nether now. There's such a variety you can get with the textures, because you can go polished, you can go to, and then you can do stones and slabs and walls and all that with it. So I'm absolutely loving how that is turning out. And then just did concrete for sort of the walls on the ship. And then I'll just kind of duck underneath here so you can see where I fully detailed everything out. The ship actually does have a keel using the stairs, so you can see that coming through. That would be in your normal ship design. And then they usually will have these sort of points kind of extending off of the bow and the stern. I'm not building starships this season, but I still can't seem to get away from building some sort of ship. It's really, really strange that I've just jumped in with that. And I just kind of had to finish this. I just got inspired to build it. It was just like, nope, I need to get this done. So I'll finish the dock at some point. I figure I'll probably put a crane off of here as well, so it's kind of like unloading the cargo that's coming through. And as I said, just decorate this out. But yeah, if somebody wants to use this for a shop, yeah, just let me know. I have no problem with handing that over for somebody else to actually make practical use out of. We're going to be doing a little bit more detailing work in here eventually. Right now we've just got some torch spam, and it's pretty much everywhere, just to kind of light things up. Obviously, we're not on a mushroom island this time, so we have to deal with mobs. So we've been doing that. I don't know what the green flag is for. I'm not sure who put that down. I don't see a name on it unless they were doing that for a map. I saw somebody was doing a map, so maybe they were making waypoints or something. I'm not sure. We'll have to look at that later. Let me see if I can find the map, actually, so you can get sort of an overview area. Let's see. Do we have the map around? Yeah, overachiever. Yeah, well, I mean, that's kind of what you do with Minecraft. You get inspired to build something, and then you go and build it. You can't control the muse. Once you get something inspired, you get an idea in your head, and I feel this way in real life too, because I'll do other projects on the side. I'm a woodworker. I make chainmail, so I make jewelry and that sort of thing. Whenever I get the time and the inspiration to do stuff, but you get an idea in your head, and the idea wants to be made. It just gets stuck in there, and this is how I describe it. When it gets in there, it wants to come to life. You're just kind of driven to actually put the idea into the real world. So whether it's just in Minecraft you're placing blocks, or if you're doing something with your hands, or whatever the case may be, that idea gets in there and it won't leave until you actually get it done. Oh, apparently we have. I don't know. I don't have any words for this. We apparently have zombified penguins in boats now as well. So we get Greg and his pet parrot. I think his parrot's going to need a name. We'll figure that out at some point later. I can bring some name tags later. We can do that. But yeah, I'm not seeing this map anywhere. I don't know where that actually got posted. I saw someone put it in the chat, but I don't know where it went. I did notice this build over here for this hardware store. I thought this is a really cool house design. That just looked interesting to me. I still don't know how I feel about doing the upright chains. It doesn't look right to me to put them upright. It looks like they're supposed to be hanging, and that's just how a chain works. I would think more you'd want it as a post than a chain. So, again, that's just me. I mean, it still looks cool. It looks weird to me. Unless you were doing a build like the Hermits were doing with the upside down, and you wanted it to achieve that look. Then that's the goal. But yeah, it just looks like when you're putting stuff on top of chains, they just look upside down to me. All right, but yeah, I don't think there's too much else new. I wish I knew where this map was, but all right, yeah, I'm not going to worry too much about it. Well, we'll get all that sorted out eventually here. But yeah, let's pop back. Or you know what? No, I will go. I'm going to go back to my place here, and we'll work on the iron farm. But just to show you how close I am to the actual area here, there's an ocean over here where I have the dock, and it's literally just on the other side is where my starter house is. Especially since I had some boats left over here, so I've been taking back and forth. So I'll bring one of them back to the actual house. I suppose that's my other motivation for building a dock out here, is just so I have an easy way to be able to physically come back and forth. And we'll take the turtle boat. I should probably give this turtle a name. But I don't know if he's going to end up staying in there, because there's a couple of turtles. I got myself a turtle helmet. I just like having the extra water breathing abilities. I don't, even when I'm not doing that much in water, like last season, I used turtle helmet all the way through, and I was in the desert. I was as far away from water as you could possibly get, but I still like having that because when I am working with water, it's just a pain to have to come up back up to breathe all the time. And there you can see my house starting to spawn in here. So yeah, I just like having that extra little bit of water breathing that the turtle helmet gives. So that's what I focused on. Of course, we didn't have a shop for it this time. At least not when we were sitting up. So I was having to manually grow the turtles. So there's a bunch of them around. I think a couple of them have taken off. Yeah, it looks like we only got 2 of you guys hanging around here. There were 4 a while ago. But yeah, I think they've started to wander off. But yeah, I just had a little space set up there where I was growing out growing the turtles and then picking up the scoots. So I managed to get that. So all right, let's get some blocks together here and some rails, and we will figure out what we can do with setting up this iron farm. Oh, and every once in a while, because I have the villager set up in this super efficient configuration, I will get iron golems that show up outside, and yeah, we'll see if I can knock this guy over. He's not coming after me because they can't pathfind on the rails, and he apparently can't work his way across this hole. Even if he wasn't caught by that, there's a space where he can fit, but he can't get through with the stairs just behind me here. Come on. Jeez, these guys take so many hits. There we go. I did actually get 1 iron golem head, so I'm kind of not too upset by this, just because it creates some that I can go ahead and kill to try and get heads. But yeah, like right here, when the rails aren't here, they can get to this spot, but they can't fit through this gap because they would have to go up, and then it becomes less of a 3 tall gap. So it's it's really odd, but they could pop up from there. So yeah, so yeah, I'm kind of using that to my advantage to be able to kill them off, just to try and get a few heads. I'm not super worried about it, but it'll be nice to fill in as we go through here. But okay, let's go. So we've got these guys in here. We're going to need some more mine carts. Where is this positioning right now? So we're coming up. Do we need to add more powered rails on this? Can they actually make it out here? Because they'll come to a stop there. Then we got our zombies. Do we want to get the zombie up there first? I think maybe. Because we got the spacing for it. Yeah, let's work on the zombie first. And we will try to get this laid out. I will bring some powered rails. I don't know if I'm going to need them here. And I got to be real careful when doing this because I don't want to leave spaces where iron golems can spawn on, because this farm is active at the moment. As long as, you see, like right here, I think this is down low enough where they're not going to spawn, but if I start going up higher, they can potentially spawn on this place. So we need to get the zombie up to that platform there. So we need to do a bit of zigzagging here. You know what? I'm actually going to go, because we have a powered rail there, I'm going to go here and here and power this. Let's see. Let's just go up. I think it was, if I did like 3 of them, we should be okay. They tend to not get stuck from there. So we'll go this and start to snake it around. I'm going to swing up from there and then try to come into it. Oh, right, I haven't slept. Gotta deal with these guys. Oh, but he got caught in the thing. If I can make it the shot through the lag. There we go. That's got him. I definitely need to power up my bow a bit more. It's not full powered at this particular point. Let's see. Let's throw down another power rail here. Oh wait, no, I need to back up one more so for the bend. So we'll go like that. Throw that down, and then I can do the power rails. So do like 1, 2. Can I get a hold of the... Can I select the cobble? There we go. 3 up there. I probably didn't cut this over fast or far enough. Oh, I need to go up, don't I? Yeah, you get to watch me fumble around while I'm on stream doing things. I think that's part of the fun, though, is just watching me futz. Alright, let's see if we can bring this around. We'll just kind of spiral it out. Nope, nope, that's not what I meant. Let's actually go ahead and take that off of my hotbar. Fortunately, it wasn't over top of anything that would have caused any damage. Yeah, I think that's going to run short on power, so but I think we're okay leading up to that point. If I go with one more, and then we go power rails, 1, 2. Okay, that's got us up here. Let's switch that back around. We don't want to power the last one. And it's under there, so that's why the golems aren't spawning on it. So if we go like this, that's fine. And I got more angry flap flaps. Let's see if I can get that. There we go. Yep, that's too many to deal with while I'm up this high. So we are just going to declare a nope and get the heck out of there. Okay. I don't think people are sleeping here, so I think I can go ahead and get one of these zombies. Get him up into his space. Okay, come on. Let's unpower, repower his rail. Can you get out of there? Come on, guy, really? Oh, get out of here! Nope, he's not going to cooperate. And we're coming up on daylight anyway, so that's fine. We'll leave him there. I don't want to move him during the day because he'll burn up. No! That's exactly what I didn't want to happen. Yeah, stop hitting me. Alright, well, let's go for this quick then. It looks like we got no choice. Get up in your space. Hopefully this works. He's there! Holy crap, it's like I planned it. Wow, that managed to work out! Oh, jeez. All right, so he's there. He is in space. Well, he's in the spot he's supposed to be. He's a little bit over, but I think that's okay. If I break up the rails here so he doesn't have a way out, I should be able to break the minecart, and then he will just stand on that block. There he is. Perfect. Again, holy crap, it's like I planned that. I did not anticipate that going off. That went way smoother than I thought it was going to. Now we gotta see if we can get the villagers to do the same thing. Yeah, exactly. It's frightening when things work, like I know what I'm doing. That's when I know something scary's happening. Oh, hi there. I'm up in your spot now. Yeah, I can't fly yet, but there you go. That got him. That is the very first thing I did once I got an Elytra, by the way, was I just went and just started flying up and killing those things. Because they couldn't escape me anymore. Okay, so we're going to want to do this. And this worked easiest if I moved the villagers in. Yeah, they can get through a 2-wide space. And am I using... Yes, I have the silky pick. So if I move them in and get all 3 of them in here while they're still in the minecarts, I can break the minecarts from outside after they're sealed up. That worked well the last time. And yeah, we shouldn't have iron ground spawning on this because they all have rails on top of them. Okay. We should be good there. Oh, would probably help if I grabbed some minecarts, wouldn't it? Again, you know, I have moments like that where it's like, it seems like, oh yeah, no, this is professional. I know exactly what I'm doing. And then, oh no, I need minecarts. Alright, we need 3 of them. Alrighty. Let's get down here and get a hold of these guys. I don't know how well this is going to work. I think it'll be okay, because one of them's sitting there on the rail. Not that... Why? Get out of there. Why do you do these things? Alright. Push that down. Come on. Get in a minecart. Nope, he's not going to cooperate. He's going to be a pain. I think we need more momentum. But I need these guys out of here. Back up. Back up, sirs. I need to get a hold of your buddies so that I can put them into a chamber where they are permanently afraid by a zombie. There he is. Okay. I need all of you guys to get out of the way here. Hello? Hello? Can you let him through? Can you please get out of the way? Go back up. Back up. Coming through. No, you can't go back to your bed. You can't go back to bed. There's a new bed up in the sky that you're going to go to. See, look! They're doing it again! I posted a screenshot with this. I don't know why they do this. You all see it on here. These lazy villagers are napping on the job. I don't understand why they do these things. What are you... No! Get back there! Oh, I don't think this is... Yeah, I don't think this has enough space. Or enough momentum. We need to get some more powered rails on here. Okay. Let's get that. I'm just going to steal the powered rails from here for the time being. I think by the time they get up here, they're going to have more momentum. Or if not, they're at least on a flat surface where I can shove them around. Okay. We're gonna go over there, and I'm just gonna put a block down. And let's go, and we'll take that out there. Let's throw that. I'll throw one here. I'm just being conservative because I don't have a lot of rails. And we'll throw that there. And hopefully that will be enough. Let me double check, make sure. Do I have any more? Nope, I don't have any more power rails. If I have to, I can make some more. I do have a bit of gold, but hopefully that will do this. Alright. What are you doing? What is... I don't understand. There's two of them now. They're all doing it. What in the world? I don't have words. Why? Oh, jeez. Yeah, he doesn't have enough momentum there, but that's okay because I'm right behind him, so I can push him along. We did see with the zombie that it does have enough momentum to get him up the hill. So that portion we're okay on. I just got to push him out of the villager hole. Go on. Up to your new home. You get to have your home in the clouds. There you go. And we'll get up and we'll just shove you into place there. And once he's in there, he should be safe because, again, the zombies and other mobs, they don't like to pathfind on the rail blocks. So they should not be making their way up there. Ooh, although I do want to break those blocks. Apparently I left a few there that were spawnable, which we do not want. Okay, we're going to shove you in. In theory, I could even take him out of the minecart, but we've all just seen how these guys behave when they're not, in control, in a controlled space. So, yeah, no, that ain't happening. We're leaving him in there. He can stay in the minecart until we're ready to, we've closed him off. He can't get out anywhere, and then we can take him out. Okay. Let's get down and get the next one. And let's see here. You're still doing it. I don't know why. I don't know what's wrong with these guys. They're just crazy. Okay. He got in there. But he doesn't have enough momentum to get out. Nope. Not what I meant to do. I'm going to do that and then place that so he can't get out of there. Or his buddies can. There he goes. Okay. The lag is actually working to my advantage a little bit here because it's keeping the villagers from moving too quickly, so I can react faster than they can. Because again, we all know what these guys are like. As soon as they, get to a place where they're starting to go the direction you want them to, they just run somewhere else. It's like they are intentionally frustrating. Come on, buddy. Make your way. Come along. There he goes. Okay. Now he can just pop his way up there. And by the way this farm works, and I think we're all pretty much familiar with the new mechanic now, or if you've looked at Iron Farms at all since the last update, you'll be familiar with it, where the villagers will only spawn spawn the zombie when they are, or spawn the Iron Golem when they're scared by a zombie. I can use words. I can do these things. We used to have them where they would have a workstation. That's no longer a requirement for this update. They just have to be able to sleep, so they have to have a bed. So the way this works, and it doesn't work if it doesn't work too well if they're constantly scared by the zombie. But if they have something that breaks line of sight, then they have kind of a cooldown period, and then they can jump up and once the zombie goes. So this is a way to do it without redstone. It makes it really, really simple. And here, if I do F3 and B, you can see it shows the hitboxes, and you show the line of sight right here. So the zombie doesn't have line of sight to these guys right now. It's being blocked by the slabs here. But when they go to sleep, they're down here. And there, the zombie does have line of sight to them. So once the zombie has line of sight, that's what triggers the fear response. So they'll pop out of bed, and then they're jumping up in bed, they're all scared, and then that's where the Iron Golems will spawn in. So it doesn't. The farm kicks into gear for the most part at night. They will tend to spawn the Iron Golems a little bit, just kind of from their chatter for things. But that's what really kicks it into gear, is when the sleep mechanic goes off, and then they're able to get them spawning. So yeah, it's an interesting one. I was not the one who developed this mechanic. I would have to go back and find the video to see who I saw this from. But yeah, so they came up with this idea, and it works really well. You can see that it's spawning golems. There's one down there now, so it is active. Again, we're in the daytime, so that's just their usual chatter. But you'll see them at night when they go to sleep. They'll lay down to go to sleep. The zombie scares them, and they jump right up. But they only need just a second or two in bed for the mechanic to actually work. So it does function. Let me turn the hitboxes back off here. And so yeah, for the most part, I have just been spending a lot of time AFK at the in my little hidey hole there in the roof, and just letting this fire off. I do like how the new sleep mechanic works for the server as well. The one we had before was all just, you'd once you had enough people in bed, it would just pop over, and then it was the next day. We did later switch that one where the night would shift quickly, but it was still really rapid fire. This one we've got that we're using now, and this minecart got stuck on the villager. I need more momentum. I really hope I don't punch this guy. Well, okay, I kind of hope I don't punch this guy. Oh, he got out. Perfect. Keep you locked in there. I only need 3 of you for this to work. 3 is enough to get the chatter going, where they can swap gossip, so that they can actually get the Iron Golems to spawn. More of them, in theory, will make it go faster, but I don't think it's fast enough to warrant the extra lag that having extra villagers in that tight of a space will do. And this also makes it a very nice, compact spawning platform. Come along now. Alright, before we go up there, and I do have the other glass. Perfect. And this is already noticeably faster. Agent Undertaker had put up the next module, so we've got, after this, we've only got one more module to do. This is going a lot smoother than I thought it would, which is scaring me a little bit. I mean, it helps that I did one already, And I did have to play with the spacing a little bit. Before, originally I had the zombie out a little bit farther, and then I had him sitting in his minecart so that he was down a little more. I had to play around with the mechanic a little bit just to see where it functions best, and yeah, this configuration tended to work better just with where we're positioned. I think it is largely position based as far as the world is concerned. Oh, can I get you in there? Their minecarts are hitting each other. They should not be able to fall. Okay, you're in. I just needed to make sure you can get in there. And now I should be able to break your minecart. And it's good that this is during the day, so I don't have to worry about them. And I don't care if those minecarts despawn now because I have an iron farm. But I can't get to that last one. I think I'm going to have to pillar up a little bit. Alright, let's pop up here. But it was, as I was saying, it's good that this is happening during the day because if it's at night and there's other blocks nearby that they can stand on, they can and will jump off of the bed and just kind of teleport to those blocks. I found that out the hard way, and I had to replace the villagers that were in there originally because they had jumped off, and they were on the platform, so I was hoping, okay, well, I just need to connect it, and then they need to get back in bed, and then I need to, I broke line of sight with the zombie, I put some blocks in the way so they wouldn't get scared, so I just needed to break the bed and let them fall back into place. Once they go to bed, then I would they'd stay there, because they wouldn't be scared by the zombie, and then I'd just break the blocks, so then they'd be stuck again. I thought, okay, fine, we'll do that. But, yeah, that didn't happen. My mouse, well, I love my new mouse, but I've got to do Logitech. It works a lot better than the old Corsair I was using. That one, the buttons kept sticking on me. Just thinking here. Okay, I don't have to decide that right now, but this should be low enough where they're not going to spawn. I'm going to throw rails up here just in case. But anyway, I was going to say, my new mouse, the scroll wheel is super smooth, but it's just like on a loose bearing. It doesn't have any resistance to it. So, like, watch you can see where I'm shuffling around between things. Watch here, I'm just going to flick it. And you can see how it's shuffling through there. I'm not touching the thing. It's just on a loose bearing, and it's just continuing to roll. It's like Mumbo's mouse, it seems, where it just does that. So, and I'm still getting used to it. I've gotten a lot better the more I've played, and especially this past week I've been playing. It's been working a lot better. But, yeah, no, I did that, and the thing slipped, and then rather than placing down the rails, it hit the pickaxe, and it broke the blocks, and the villagers just fell right here. I ended up putting the water down here just in case it happened again, so that way they had somewhere else to try and fall into. Again, I don't know if they actually would or not, because villagers never tend to want to go where you want them to. But, yeah, so they just plummeted to their death. And it was super annoying, but also a little bit satisfying, kind of morbidly, just seeing the villagers plummet to their death. I think we've all wanted to see that at some point or another. Alright, well, sun's going down. I'm going to take advantage of the time frame here. I'm just tossing these blocks in here for ease of use. But I'm just going to go up on the platform here just to show how this works with the villagers. Hopefully I can see it okay. I still haven't slept, so I'm hoping they'll start doing it before I can see that one okay. And then when I do cheaty zoom key, there we go. Yeah, thank you, Optifine. All right, so we'll let the sun go down, and hopefully they'll start doing this before the angry flaps come out. I am super glad, by the way, that meme was caught on among the Scarworld people. I threw that out during a stream with Scar. He started laughing, and then he started getting hit by the things, and I think it's just caught on from there. Well, actually, okay, the sun's taking longer than I thought it would. Oh, my armor's almost dead. Not a big deal. I have one of the villagers I have as an armorer, and he sells every single piece of a diamond armor, so that's where I just got everything from to kind of start my kit out. So, by the way, if anybody doesn't have diamond armor by the time of the dragon fight, let me know. I will bring you I will get you at least basic diamond armor, so you don't have to show up in iron like we were doing for the last one. We'll at least get you the basic enchantment. So it's not extremely good, but we'll get you something. Well, I got a few minutes while the sun goes down here. Oh, hey, there we go. That's really weird to see with the lag, but yeah, you can see how the golems are going through. And I really did like it, because the video that I saw with this had just one of these platforms going through, but I saw that and I'm like, you know what, I can make the rates for that go a heck of a lot faster if I put 4 modules on there. So I just expanded that out, and if I really wanted to, I could make another set of them going up. I just have to have, I believe it's a minimum of 16 blocks. I would recommend going more than that. Right now this is, about 25 blocks off of the ground. And then my other villagers are down there a little bit farther, just so that the villager spawning areas aren't interfering with each other. Because if this was down closer to the ground, the villagers underground and the golems they're spawning would interfere with the spawning rates for this group. So by keeping it separated, it does stretch out. But yeah, well, we got a few minutes here. Let's check in with the chat. Let's see. I've been keeping an eye out here. Yeah, just with the whole speeding things through with the night. No, I really do like how that mechanic works. And now it's just a percentage increase. Obviously, the more people you have sleeping, the faster the night goes through. But it just tends to. It just tends to make things a lot smoother. It seems to be a lot smoother for farms that do require at least some night, or certain mechanics that require certain amounts of night, especially like the turtles. Like with the older mechanic, when you would just go to sleep, you'd just never get turtle eggs to spawn. It just would be impossible, because they would never accumulate enough time in nighttime to go, because it's pretty much just permadawn, and everybody's like B-dubs on here. They all want to do stuff during the day, so it would just pop over. But yeah, having the night where it at least has some amount of time to stretch through, you can make it go faster, so you're not getting land blasted with mobs, but where it can stretch out a little bit, that does tend to make those night mechanics work a lot smoother. So I'm very much in favor of that. Yeah, but yeah, I see you here talking about your iron farm. Yeah, it'll be interesting to the mechanics here are interesting, but they are a pain. The villagers are just awful to work with. Wow, that is really weird seeing that lag go through with the gravity effect. It's like a stepper motor. Oh, jeez. Yeah, the lag might be causing the data to take a little bit longer. Yep, it's doing a little bit here. The first day when we had signed in and we had absolutely everybody on, if you didn't catch the stream to see it, yeah, the sun with the lag, the sun was rubber banding extremely. Like you'd get the sun and it would go like here, and then it would rubber band up to here, and it would just keep bouncing back and forth. So we just didn't have day or night cycles, just because it kept bouncing around on us. I kept thinking we needed to swap out the texture for the sun with just a troll face, because it's like it wouldn't actually let you go to sleep. Oh, jeez. But yeah, we're making our way down here. But yeah, I just wanted to, and yeah, I see that their Age of Undertaker will probably grab your villagers out of there. That will save me, just so I don't have to grab the other ones from, throw carrots at the other ones and wait for them to breed up. The main thing is it works best if they're untrained using this mechanic. Otherwise, they got to have workstations. So yeah, as long as they don't have professions, they should be fine. But yeah, just checking back through with the chat here. Yeah, the dragon and chainmail. That would be interesting. I mean, the way, if you weren't around for the dragon fight we did the first time, the dragon did not last long. We had probably, on that one, we probably had like 30 people altogether. It might have been more than that, honestly. I'd have to go back and look at the videos. I think FCD had the videos captured for that, and he had the replay mod on, so you could see everyone going off. But you see so we all split up. We had the pillars taken down and the end crystals taken down just almost immediately. That we had those down within like 2 minutes, and then it was just a hailstorm of flame arrows all going off at the dragon. You see the dragon flying around, and it's just boom, 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 boom. Just all these arrows going through, blasting the thing, and yeah, we took it down super quick. So honestly, it's not even that big of a deal for, you could come to the fight naked and be fine. Just completely unarmored. The thing's still going to die. There's no way it's going to last against that many people shooting at it. Oh, here we go. Yeah, you can see, so where they're starting to go to bed. And yeah, watch this on here. So they pop up, they're scared, and it'll take a second. They'll have a cooldown here. And then they'll try to go sleep again. Yep, see, there you go to sleep, and now they pop up because they can have the line of sight with the zombies, so now they're scared. Now they're chattering, and then that's where they're going to spawn an iron golem, or at least they have the chance of spawning the iron golem is when they're doing this, when they do that chatter. So now, yep, they go to sleep. The zombie sees them, and now they pop out of bed. That was all I've been sitting here for, was waiting to see. But yeah, so and I think that one did spawn off of there for them. So you can see where they had the chatter. And this is going on now in 3 locations. We'll have the 4th one taken care of eventually. But yeah, you can see how now where there was a golem spawning every once in a while just from their regular chatter. But now you can see we had 3 of them spawn in like all at once. I think one of them died already, but you can see where the other ones are burning up. So this is when the farm really kicks into gear, is when it's at night, and then they can do the scare tactic to really speed up the spawning. In my tests with this in creative, I was getting, what did I figure, about 22 stacks per hour. I believe was what I timed that out for. I don't expect it to be that fast on the server. Just because, number one, people are sleeping. It's not night constantly or for as long, so you're not going to get the super speed mechanic for it. Number two, even if you were going through full nights, even if we didn't have the speed up the night mechanics to go through on here, just the amount of lag you get from having this many people logged into a server, it's not going to run as smooth as a single player world would. And you're never going to get that mechanic. Even if you were on an online server and just playing just you, you'd still, it's not going to be as fast because you have to go through all the networking and everything, and it has to load on the server. It's just never going to be 100% the same smoothness. It can get close, but it's never going to be 100% the same. So it's going to take a while to gather up a lot of iron. But yeah, I figured I am definitely going to need a lot of iron for when I do my primary base. So, yeah, I want to at least get this going and start getting a stock built up so that I have less that I have to do once I get around to that one. But yeah, the lag should go down eventually. Right now, everything's still in starter mode. Everybody's kind of starting up. We're all crunched in close together, and there's a lot of people logged in all the time. Eventually, it's going to time out where people will not be around quite as much. You'll there will be less people logged in at a time. And even now, we're seeing that if you're playing late at night, like I have been for some of the ones, and there's just not that many people logged in, the lag is much better. It does improve significantly from there. But there's also just the matter of things, the way things are set up and the things people are doing, they're not as efficient as they could be right now because we don't have the resources to put it at full efficiency. So once things have had a chance to settle down, and people have had a chance to actually build things up a little bit better, employ some better designs, had more time to set up better designs. Yeah, the lag will definitely improve from there. It's just and that goes through on pretty much every server. When you're on the initial, it's always going to be laggier. There's also some certain things with the mods and the add-ins. That's going to be a significant one. I know the mods on here have been doing a ton of work to try and optimize things. So yeah, there's a lot of work that's going on. But then it'll also help once the border expands out. People will have a chance to spread out a little bit more, and not all the same areas are going to be loaded all the time. Not all those same chunks. Right now, we're all crunched in together, so we're all loading up these same chunks in with each other. So I can be gone, but Agent Undertaker's right over there. If you're in your base, you're still loading up my farms. So, I mean, that helps for me because I'm gathering supplies, and I've tried to make these as efficient as possible so that I'm not causing extra lag. I'm trying to limit how many hoppers I leave exposed in areas. Like these I kind of need to for access, but if you put, you can do the tactic where you put other like barrels or chests or other things on top of them so that they're not constantly looking for items on top. Little things like that, and over time that can help spread it over a large amount that will help reduce lag and that sort of thing. It takes, right now, I don't think there's enough of them set up on here where it's particularly a problem. And this is the first time I've seen a zombie with armor. I think we finally had the area on long enough where the difficulty's increasing. Let's see if I can snipe this creeper. Oh, we got more zombies coming in. I think they are popping around because of my villagers. That was what was going on with the... I posted a picture with a zombie party at my base the other night in the Discord. And you can tell that's what was going on because they sense the villagers, so it tries to do the old zombie raids. Those still happen from time to time. And yeah, they were spotting it and trying to go after those guys. Obviously, they can't get in there because it's all underground and closed off, and they can't make their way through. I will go ahead and try to kill these guys here. I will eventually set up a small creeper farm. I did a design for that on Scarworld 1. I built that very late in the game. I didn't need it at the time because I would just go through. I didn't light up the area around my base. I just let that kind of happen. And then because I had a super bow, I was able to just snipe all the. Oh wow! He was just hanging there for a second. That was interesting. But because I had that super bow, I was able to just snipe the creepers from far away, and then I could just swoop in and grab the gunpowder. And had done that for a while and built up a little bit of a supply even before we got the elytra. So that by the time once I did have the elytra, I had enough of a stock built up where I was okay for rockets for several months. Just didn't even have to worry about it. But yeah, then eventually things did start getting lit up. I was expanding around. I didn't have time to fight all the mobs all the time. So yeah, it kind of became more worth it to have a farm to collect that. So I will do that eventually. My plan for that is to set it up when I do the map area. I'm probably going to be doing that after the border expansion takes place, which should be happening here soon. Exactly. That should be happening sometime here today. I'm hoping we might get another reset here this afternoon. It might be at that point. If that's the case, then I will probably go out and do a little bit more exploring. I want to find a decent area for where my main base is going to be. I didn't want to build it in the initial setup just because, I didn't want to be tucked in close with everybody. Right now, we're all tightly compressed and all this stuff. And my base, it's going to need more space to stretch out. I don't know if it's going to be as big as Mos Eisley last time, but I do need more space around me to be able to just kind of stretch out and do my thing. I need to have an area where I can do that and not have to worry about interfering with somebody else's build, us being crunched in on top of each other for that sort of thing. Just so we can all kind of spread out and do what we want and build our own things. So we'll get there eventually. I'm hoping this border expansion will stretch it out for us. It's kind of hard to judge because they still haven't given us the seed, and I don't know if that's going to happen when we expand or not. They haven't said. It's just kind of a thing, so I may have to go out and just look around and see what I can find. I'm just fixing this. I had a skeleton the other night, and I just never bothered to fix that, so I'm just doing that while I'm sitting here idle. Alrighty. I suppose we can go ahead and do a quick manual harvest on these. I never find that I have that much of a need for food that I really need an automatic farm. Just a handful of stuff to do manual, and as long as I go at it for a while, I can build up a stock, and this will last me a while. Especially since I have butchers to buy food off of. Like all this cooked chicken, I'm only going through the cooked chicken because I bought it off of the butchers to train them up. And honestly, I just kind of need to get it out of my supplies. So I figure, what the heck, I might as well use it up. It's still useful. I will probably just use there's one of them that sells cooked pork chops, so I'll probably just use that. Cooked pork chops and cooked steaks, depending on your situations, they can be the best food in the game. The best food while you're in combat is the carrots, the golden carrots. And reason for that is because it maxes out your saturation so you can get your healing effects going on as fast as possible. But if you're not in combat where you need to worry about healing, then you're really better off using... Oh, apparently that broke one of my melon seeds. I'll deal with that later. This was also very temporary, and I'm going to be doing one to make that a little bit easier for extraction. But if you're just going around doing general work and you just need to keep your hunger meter full so that you can sprint and jump around and do those sort of things, then actually cooked steak and cooked pork chops give you the most on your hunger meter. So those are your best foods in that regard. Alright, well, I've got that done. That was the main one I had planned for the stream here today. That went through a lot smoother than I thought it would. Oh, and you can see you getting the other one set up there. So cool. Okay, well, let you do your thing there. Hopefully we'll get that other module set up, and if you've got other villagers, then we can bring them in. So yeah, but that was my primary one for today. Okay, yep, and I see you got that going here. Alrighty, let me go ahead. I'm going to clean up these rails then. Get them out of the way here. And then that way we have them for the supplies if you need it to bring in the zombie and the villagers into the other area you're scaffolding up there. That one must have been from earlier. Do I have any stone on me? No, I put it all away. That's fine. I'll fix that later. Not super worried about it. And I do need to move this down just in case a baby zombie shows up. We don't want him to be able to jump in there. And I am going to keep that one guy down in the hole, the one untrained guy. I might do some breeding and throw a few more in there and just have them available if I do need to expand out somewhere else later. Just so that way I have some villagers ready that aren't already trained. I don't know what I'm doing yet for as far as plans are concerned with a border with trading hall, or doing something more for them. I know I'm going to make something better than the setup here, but I haven't figured out exactly what yet. And you are just going to get closed off in there. Perfect. This little hole back here, by the way, this was a spot that I was AFKing in before, and I was using this to just play around with a couple of redstone mechanics, just some very simple ones. And by the way, for this one, how I get the villagers trapped in here, I just leave the beds up. I'll throw food at them so they can go ahead and breed. And this has enough overage where I will get 3 babies that will spawn. I have the one tall hole, so the regular villagers can't go in here, and then I have the extra beds. Once the babies have spawned, I will break all of these beds, and then as soon as night comes around, the other villagers can't pathfind in here, but the babies can, so they'll just go running through into the hole, and then they're trapped. So, made that nice and easy. Oh, yes, I see there, Commander. Yes, I did set up my offices. I went and showed that off earlier on the stream, so yep, I have that established. Yeah, I'm just planning on doing. I will sell armor standing is kind of my primary one, but I mean, obviously, if people ever needed help from other things, just let me know. I have a little bit of stuff. I don't consider myself a redstone expert still, but I do have enough knowledge with it just from playing with my previous base that I can set that up for people. To just help out with a few other specific things. So yeah, if you needed help with the farm or trying to figure out simple designs for things, I can do those sort of things. I can help you out. Let's do that. I kind of wanted this to remain a sort of crazy, just not the most efficient design. As far as the steps coming up are concerned. I am going to break that piece of diorite, though. 2 pieces of diorite. Those were from earlier. I was... what was I doing? I had something... Oh, that was when I was first moving the villagers in, and I had a barrier up here. I brought them in through the nether. And then I just wanted to make sure they didn't get out and go into the out into the wild. But anyway, was say for this, I just kind of wanted to leave this so it looked like, sort of the natural stone, where it just would have been whatever the when you come in to set up your mine, you just would have cut steps that were just easy and convenient. You don't have to worry about making it super efficient there. Let me get just a couple of stairs here. I think this will actually be enough. Alrighty. And let's pop... Yeah, that one's fine. I do have to swap that for a stair. 2... Yep, smooth transition and don't get caught. Perfect. So yeah, now I can just run up and down and don't have to worry about that sort of a thing. Okay, let's toss these few extra blocks into my chest monster house. Oh, nope, I want the rails. I will put those into the other stock. Apparently I still have a stone cutter with me. I think that was from when I was building the boat out in the shopping district. I needed that for being able to turn my blackstone into polished blackstone. Alright, so... Oh, you're getting the villagers moved first, which is fine. Doesn't matter what order you put them up in there as long as they get shoved in. And there he goes. Alright, and I'll hang down here just in case anything gets stuck. Hopefully he just cooperates. But yeah, this will get us running at full capacity here. And hopefully he's shoved in all the way. I will just kind of hang around outside of that just to kind of monitor things. I know there's a little bit of a delay here. I know you were watching on the stream here, so yeah, we'll we'll pop back in through. But yeah, go ahead and send him up, and I'll keep an eye on him as he makes his way up. Yeah, just having the additional villagers in here makes the idle mechanics run so much faster. As that, I would maybe get 1 or 2 golem spawning during the day with just the single module. Not very much at all, but yeah, no, with this going on, it's a much more regular occurrence. So yeah, definitely worth it to have more than 1 module in there. Oh, being bold and sending 2 of them at once. I'm hoping that works. I did run into a problem before where having multiples up there, they kind of wanted to get stuck on each other and then push the other one back down. So I will hang back here. If one of them starts coming down, I can break the rail so he doesn't get... Yep, see there where he was trying to get pushed back. Yeah, see if you can shove him in there. If he starts coming back down, I will break the rail down here. Oh, you got it. Perfect. Yeah, it tended to work best for me, just moving them one at a time. Awesome. Alright, so there... Yeah, you just got to kind of shove them into place. They should be able to fit. And then we can break the mine carts. I didn't bring blocks with me, did I? Nope, I put them all back. I'm a derp. And I can't reach that from here. Yeah, hopefully that will... Yeah, just be careful they don't follow you out with the glass. Oh, hey, we can actually get one of those back. Oh, I see. You put a slab up there. Clever. Well, we'll use the corral. This clever girl. All right, so perfect. So that's done. So next we just got to get the zombie, and we'll move the zombie up at night. I'll come down and catch the items as they fall here. Oh, you forgot we got to get the zombie in there? Hey, no, it's fine because you had to cut that back anyway. Just keep laying the rails down as you're going so that we don't get a potential spawning platform for golems. I don't know that they'll spawn on a 1-wide platform, so we might be okay there. But just to make 100% sure, because, yeah, it just becomes annoying if they spawn there. You got to kind of shove them off. Yeah. You shove them off and then they're just kind of wandering around. I did share the one screenshot of that with the... I was sitting right here, looking up and getting a screenshot, and there was one that had spawned on a platform that I had to shove off, and he was wandering around. He just comes up right in my face, and he's just like right at the bottom of the screen, there. So if you are checking the Discord, you should see that in the back scroll. You'll see that one. I thought I saw something fall here. Yep, there's some blocks. All right. Yeah, hopefully you guys catch it there. If you need me to bring up any of these blocks that fell, just let me know. And then once we hit nightfall, we should be good. I am going to go ahead and switch this over for the zombie. Yes, I did I caught 2 powered rails, so I can bring those up for you. Let me get up there. I think there's some more in the chest if we need more, but I probably shouldn't be sprinting when I'm running up a one wide staircase, but oh well. Alright, so we'll do that. Switch that around. Yeah, they should have enough where they can make it up there. Oh, not what I meant to hit. That one. Okay, not like that. We need to go like this. You get that, and then... Oh, here, we'll do it like this. Put the powered rail there. And then... Bam. Oh, you're dropping them into the hole. Okay, yeah, you can do it that way. As long as this is a slab, I'm going to take that block away just so there's not a spawning platform. But yeah, as long as this is bottom half slabs, we should be fine. Okay, no problem. So now we just gotta wait for night so he doesn't burn up in the daytime here. Where is the sun? It's up above. Okay. I mean, I suppose the sun's always up above somewhere, but you know what I meant. Oh, jeez. Okay. Oh, we got a couple of more scaffolding blocks. I think those might have been from when I was taking that portion out. By the way, the torches down here, those are very temporary, and the fences I just did when it was on top of a stairs and I couldn't put a torch down. Those are just showing the general outline here. Once we've got the iron farm fully filled in, which this last module will take care of for us, we're going to be building this down or up to it. I'm not sure exactly how we're going to do it at this particular point. But the idea is just to kind of make this look like a watchtower. So it will be cosmetic. We're not just going to leave this all open and exposed. But it's much easier to get the entities you need inside before you build all the cosmetic stuff. Because trying to move villagers around is crazy enough as it is, but it's much easier where you can just throw ugly stuff like that wherever you need, rather than have to try and mess with that. Oh, I just noticed. Apparently, I never changed the title for my stream. Let me do that. I apparently still had it left on the Scarworld Final Farewell stream, so... Okay, so my apologies if you were seeing the wrong line there, but yeah. So, okay. Yeah, and we may do something where it kind of shifts in, so it almost kind of looks like the Space Needle, where you get the wider setup from that. This was just to show where the line goes, so that we can kind of figure out the spacing from there. I just wanted to have an idea of the outline. Because obviously it wouldn't make sense if you had something that was like half the distance in and then it balloons out. That just wouldn't look right. But if you have something where it can kind of float down, even if it's not the full diameter, because like the full diameter goes out to like there. But if you had something where it's like right here at this base where it starts with the mine and then kind of flutes out, that'll look okay. Just all the different crazy stuff you have to do to get an idea of the shaping and the proportions and try to make things look right. And really all I did to space that out, Agent Undertaker had went up and put the slabs down. Those are slabs, so they're not spawnable platforms. And the glass represents how far out you have to be from the spawning platform so you don't get golems in there. That was just set up around so we can kind of figure out the perimeter. and then I just went and took sand and just let that drop down, just so I could get an idea for the spacing. But yeah, rather than having to pillar up and pillar down, pillar up, pillar down, I just went up and I dropped sand and we'll let that do it, so I can bring that circle down here. And of course, you'll see it's not a true circle; it's just kind of a curved square. But I think that'll work okay for sort of the design we're going for here. We'll figure out the specifics on that later. And sun's making its way down. I'm just kind of dithering around for a little bit while we wait for the sun to go down, and then we can get that finished. And like I said, that was the main thing I had planned for today. This has actually gone a heck of a lot smoother than I thought it was going to, so I may end up just going and doing a little bit more exploring. I don't really have another project at this particular point that I'm working on. I did the decorations for my shop. I suppose I could work on the ship a little bit more, but I need to get a little bit more inspiration for some more of the specific ideas there. I haven't, a basic design that I've been working off of, just to sort of get the shape. It's really kind of more of a blank canvas, and then was just kind of starting point for it. So I'll figure out the rest of the specifics as I go there. Yeah, this is significantly faster than what it was before. I am very pleased with seeing the increase in the rates, and this is only with 3 modules up. Once we have the 4th one up, yeah, this should be cooking a lot better. I may end up needing to expand out the storage for this. Right now I got, 12 double chests for iron. Very simple Tangotech sorter design for that, and then just all the overflow items will go into here. As of right now, I'm not storing the flowers. Those were just from ones when I was doing the initial setup on here. They're all just going into this and becoming bone meal. I will put a lever on here at some point so I can turn this hopper off. So that way I can store flowers if I need to. Just you can build up the supply for red dye. It's a resource, so you might as well have access to it. I don't have a particular need for it at this point, and the bone meal is much a more practical item for me to have. So just leaving that where it is for the time being. The sun's making its way down. Let's see here. I'm just getting some other views from other angles of this thing. Seeing if any other ideas happen to come to me while I'm doing that. There we go. Yeah, no, I think that'll look cool, kind of rising up from the middle. There's a couple of small houses around here. Once we get the zombie, and I'll go tour those around a little bit. There's obviously we got Agent Undertaker. He saw this pit, and he's just kind of like, "Yep, I'm taking that over." It was like, "All right, more power to you." And yeah, he's got this little, almost kind of a fort set up in here. I think it looks pretty cool. It's a string use with the granite and the brick. Those blocks do tend to synergize pretty well together, but I like how he's done it with it's just kind of a little fort area. But there's a couple of just simple wooden starter houses over that direction. There's not really much else on this side of the coast. This is all still pretty much just raw forested area. So if anybody else new is coming in, if you're coming in next week, you can feel free to sort of jump in here if you want. And again, the shopping district is just across this water. It's like just outside of render distance. If I get in a boat, and probably about the time I get there, you'll start seeing it render in. It is not very far at all from here. But yeah, there's a couple of bases around here. But yeah, we are not far from spawn. Spawn is just over that hill. There's a couple of hills it's over, but it's just over in that direction. And which you kind of saw with another portal. We're You know, we're real close to it there. Which is kind of where everybody spawns in. Made it nice and easy to be able to go and grab some of the starter resources, because we all, if you saw the first stream, you saw how we all just jumped in and then just immediately ran off in other directions. So everyone just kind of spread out to grab a space. And you know, people have spread out to the other biomes and that sort of thing, and we've been pretty good about getting some of the other, you know, the extra resources you'll need put through. So they're all there. And over in that direction, there is a swampland area. I grabbed a little bit of slime there, although most of my slime I just bought at the shop because it became so much easier. That was just before the shop was even there. I am surprised in my mine area that I have not uncovered a slime chunk yet. Just for the spaces that I've been digging out. It's just... Yeah, I can't believe I haven't actually had a slime chunk come up just naturally. Although, I mean, once you get the Haste 2 beacon going, then you're just uncovering so much area. You'll run across one eventually. And see, like last time, I didn't even make a slime farm. I just had slime chunks in my mine, and just every so often I'd kill one that spawned naturally, and that was enough to keep me plenty stocked. So, especially once you've got a looting 3 sword. So yeah, it doesn't need to be too much. Yeah, Neil, your base had so many slimes showing up. Yeah, you just did the giant hole, and yeah, that'll be interesting. I probably won't set up an automatic farm, even if I did do a farm. I would probably make it just where they would spawn into a natural area where I can go ahead and, just they're in one spot so I can kill them manually. Just because getting the heads is useful, especially with our shop, because we're selling the mine mob heads and that sort of thing. So I'll probably just have an iron golem set up somewhere where they'll jump over to, and it'll just drop them into a single pit, and then I can just slice them up from there. I don't even care about it for XP, just being able to actually get the heads, because obviously you don't get a head drop if they're jumping on magma cubes and that sort of thing. And we are almost down. I want to make sure it actually hits nighttime before I move this guy. As long as the sun stops trolling us. And let's get the minecart ready. Alright, I think that has brought the light levels down enough. We can go ahead and get him moved in. Alright. Yep, he's not burning. He's on his way up here. And Agent Undertaker, you are up top, so I will let you go ahead and extract him. Just make sure you don't bump him off the rail. There he goes. And I gotta deal with this phantom. And hopefully you didn't lose your slab. And so we can get him blocked back in and he'll be covered by the night. Or, cover to protect against the sun. And the phantom's coming back around here. Looks like you've got him in place. Phantoms take a lot more hit points, a lot more hits to kill. If I remember correctly, I think they actually take more damage from smite than they do from sharpness. Not sure on that. Dun, dun, dun. Did we get a head? No head. But we did get some membrane, so that's fine. Awesome. All right. Well, this should have the Iron Golem farm running at full capacity now. And I'm just kind of picking up the items. It's raining items. Hallelujah. Oh, jeez. I'm turning into Iskall now. I'm singing on stream. Perfect. All right. We have got it. I'm just going to toss what we got into the generic chest that we set up down here. There's no organization to this particular system. Alrighty, and I will let you take care of the ones that go down into your base so you can get that cleared. Alright. Alright, we are done. This should have this thing running at full capacity now. Now we'll just have to see what the rates are like. And most of that's going to come from me AFKing. So right now we are almost at a full chest. We got, let's see, that's 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 24 and a bit stacks. But yeah, just during the day, yeah, look at that. We've got two right after the other. That was unheard of when I had just the single spawning platform there. Like I said, I would only get like one or two per day. So just having them spawn in that quick from their regular chatter, that is a huge improvement already. Alright, well, rather than just sit on stream and watch that go through, let me check back in with my villagers real quick, see if their trades have reset. And this is kind of what I just keep doing when I'm sitting around at my base. And they were lagging sleeping. They all just popped up at once. But you can see when I buy them out, they increase the number you need to be able to sell to them again. I actually didn't run into that in the last Scarworld, so I don't know if that's a new update or what exactly was going on, or if they just weren't working properly, and that was always supposed to be that way. But the last time when we had these guys, they just kept the same trade level, and the numbers that they needed never increased. They would only decrease after because they liked you more when when you trade with them a lot. So not sure on that one, but we'll deal with that. Not particularly worried about the figuring that one out. I just have to wait for their trees to reset. Alrighty, and I don't think there's any materials I need to buy up a lot of. I can get lanterns and glass off of those guys, but I've got a decent stock built up. I can get quartz off of the masons, but I don't really need any for any projects right now. So yeah, I think I'm set. I still have a pretty good cache of emeralds in there. You saw what I had built up, so we have got that put into place, and I can just buy things up from them as I need to. So, awesome. All right, well, that's all set. Yeah, now I got to figure out what else I'm doing with the tail. Like I said, that was my main plan. That went way smoother than I thought it was going to. Let's just go do a little bit of exploring here, I think. Kind of see what's all along the coast here. This will give you guys, again, if you're not on the server yet, or if you haven't had a chance to kind of poke around in this neck of the woods, we'll give you a little bit of a space to, a chance to look around and see what's going on. So, and I'm just going to grab what I can from the water here if there's something we need to go pop over to. So we've got our turtle co-captain in the back here. Yeah, this will give you the chance to see the bases for everybody. I haven't gone through and figured out who is based where yet to check all the names, so apologies if you don't have your name if I don't know. This one's Cloned Kitties, so you can see the mailbox there. Very simple little starter house, but nice. We got. I did move all of our sugarcane stuff down underneath when I set up the automatic farm. I mean, it's starter-based stuff, so you're used to seeing that, but it's honestly, I think it's kind of ugly keeping all the sugarcane all in a row like that. A little bit of it's not bad, but when it's all in a row, I think it's kind of ugly. So, wow, we got a lot of buildup over here. I haven't seen these for a while. So there is... I'm going to pop out and take a look at this. So we got one house, a bunch of flowers that have been brought in. It helps that spawn is in a flower forest, so you can grab everything. Just bring some bone meal and you can grab pretty much any flower you want there. That's an interesting ad. So it's built into the cliff. Very tall. Looks like the interior's got a creeper on glass in there. I'm not going to go inside, but just kind of take a look. So that's an interesting build. I'm not sure whose that is. And then I saw there is a treehouse over here. Let's give that a quick poke before I get back on the boat. Oh, let's see. Oh, there's a skelly grinder there. I did not know that. I knew where the wild card skelly grinder is. They are helping me out quite a bit because I'm going to need so many dispensers for the map area I have planned to do the reset. Actually, I probably could show that off here. We'll do that in a little bit. I'll probably do that like at the end of the stream because I got to pop in a single player for that. So I don't want to go up inside, but I'm just kind of checking out. Yeah, that's cool. Just a simple little hut. It looks like you hit all your starter items there, which is really all you need. Just the stuff to get you going here. There's another. Let's see. Somebody's got a brick house over here. Round brick house. That's interesting use with the woods to give you the contrast there. Let's pop over back to my boat. We've had our turtle keeping an eye on it for us. Where did he go? There he is. It makes such a difference having Depth Strider 3. I love having that on. Especially when you get the Dolphin's Grace going through. Holy cow, you just start zooming. I thought, okay, yeah, I see this now. This is artificial. I didn't remember seeing that shape to the landmass before, so someone is terraforming already. I mean, it's a Scar server. What do you expect? But yeah, I don't think there's much else in here. At least not along the coast. I didn't see anything when I was exploring around last night. I was popping through and getting some quote-unquote Grian heads. Just going through killing cod. Building up a little bit of a stock here. As far as your question there with the map area, got to discuss that with Commander Cascade. I don't think we've decided on that one just yet if we're going to make it like public use or if you get it because we're going to be selling the maps that we make on there. We probably will end up making it so that anybody can go through and use it. It may be like hey, pay us. We went through the trouble to set this up, so pay us a diamond or two, so you can use the map area, and then just go ahead and set it up. Do whatever, and then reset when you're done. That sort of a thing. Again, I got to discuss that with them just to see how exactly we want to work it, but it'll probably be something along those lines. I gotta build the thing first. I have to have 46 stacks of dispensers in order to build this thing. So yeah, that's what the wildcard people are. Queen and Melly, and they're helping me out. They have a skelly grinder, and they're letting me take the bows from there to craft the dispensers with, because I will need so many of them. This is an interesting little setup here. And you got the honeycomb for the walls. It's odd, but it's such a strange texture, that thing. From the honey block. Let me see. Does they have a sign to say whose this is? If I can get around here. Oh, this is Alchemy's. Okay. Oh, I'm hurting my turtle. I'm sorry, turtle. I didn't mean to do that. Didn't realize your head was in the block. Apparently, I am collecting lily pads here. This was not the goal, but I'm just kind of going around. It's like bumper boats almost. So yeah, so we've got another swamp area here. I'm gonna eat real quick. Well, let's see real quick if anybody else is in here. And this will give me kind of, if I do happen to make it all the way over to the border, the world border, that'll help just to see kind of what's around the corner once we expand out. The area I need to find, so if anybody is on the server playing and you think of a spot, let me know. I would like to find a jungle if I can. I can also work with dark oak and if I had to, plains and that sort of thing, but something grassy. I would really love to have a jungle so I get the nice, bright, vibrant grass color for things. Although I suppose even being on the border of some biomes, having a mix there would be fine. But I'd need to have wide enough space. I need to set up a river. So if somebody knows of one there, that if there's a natural one, hey, great. If not, I can make an artificial river. It's not that big of a deal. Once I get going for the major projects to terraform. But yeah, and then it'll need to be a nice big flat space. Yeah, I will message you back here, Grander Case. I don't know if you're still watching the stream, but I'll send you a message here once I'm freed up. We can get that figured out. But yeah, so I need to be a nice, big, wide, flat space. If you aren't aware, I've talked about this a little bit before, but the base I'm going to be building, it's actually from the game line I develop. If you're not already aware of that as well, because I've talked about it. For my side job, I am actually a line developer for a role-playing game. It's called 1879. It's put up by Facet Games. So yeah, a little bit of shameless self-promotion. I mean, it's my stream, so I figure it kind of makes sense to promote my own product. But yeah, it is a sort of a steampunk fantasy game. Is where it comes in. The idea behind a lot of the stuff for the Facet Games, if you've ever played Shadowrun was originally put out by Facet Games. That the idea there is that magic comes in cycles. Certain number you have number of worlds that are high magic, certain time periods that are low magic. And it follows the whole Mayan Bakhtin thing, where they talked about the end of the world being in 2020 and that sort of thing. The idea with Shadowrun was after that point the magic level had shifted. The tide had started for magic had started and increased to the point where certain fantasy elements could come back. You start to see there's a metagene present in humanity, and they will they can revert back into some of the other fantasy races. You had like your orcs, your elves, your dwarves, that sort of thing. Once the magic level gets high enough, that gene becomes active, and they can actually, people will actually transform back into those races. That's a time period that they refer to as the Awakening. In Shadowrun, the Awakening had already happened. It had been around for a while, and that one was more futuristic, so magic had been around for a bit. People knew how to, had time to figure out how to deal with it, and it was really more of kind of like a cyberpunk, almost dystopian future sort of thing. With 1879, that's actually our replacement for Shadowrun in the cosmology. We sold off Shadowrun years ago. It's changed hand a couple of times. It's now with Catalyst. So they're the ones that are developing that one now. But we've gone. This is our replacement in the cosmology as we've started going back and developing our own games again. The idea with 1879 is there is a weird science experiment that goes off in the middle of Greenwich Park. It opens up a portal to a world that is at a higher mana level, and mana starts flowing back through the portal, and it kickstarts the Awakening about 150 years early. So all the whole we're playing through the whole awakening thing, where you get people will go through. They call it Looking Glass fever. Just tying in with, there's a bunch of Lewis Carroll references within, appropriate for the time period. So people will go through this Looking Glass fever and will transform into elves and dwarves and all that sort of thing. Magic being back means that people can actually cast spells and start to do some things. And so like religious periods, all these rituals and things that they've done for years. There's a little house I'm going to pop over in here and see. Looks like it's just a simple little starter house. But yeah, so like you'll have all the not even just like standard religions, like even the different cults and that sort of thing. In the Victorian era, the occult was a huge. They were super into that sort of thing for the whole secret society stuff. All these rituals and stuff that they've had written down in texts and that sort of thing, and they've just continued to do these arcane rituals and never seen anything. They actually start having results again. They can actually start to do things. They just start to function. Miracles and blessings from the Anglican Church, they actually start to take hold. You can start to heal people. You can actually summon spirits back from the dead. And it's an interesting concept. Like what would happen in from the history angle if the Anglican Church had solid existence of the soul. You want to see, Grandpa Joe died 3 years ago. Well, here, I can summon up his spirit and you can talk to him. So it's a real interesting thing to play through. But the idea for the base, what I was going to talk about, is actually on the other world where the portal opens up to. This portal is it's kind of almost like a lost world for the portal, and apparently these portals are natural occurrences. You'll see other things have crossed back and forth between this world and Earth before. There's actually dinosaurs alive in this world. It's called the Grosvenor, although for short people call it the Grove. So yeah, in the Grove, you actually have dinosaurs and other species and that sort of thing. They've gone through naturally occurring portals, so you can see some of that. There's actually an entire other society in the portal as well, kind of descended from the ancient Babylonians and Akkadians. And you can see we're back at the shopping district. I already looked at that, so I'm not going to worry about doing around there too much. But yeah, so they actually have a society that's built up there. And they're in sort of an interesting concept. They came across some sort of ancient technology that was left behind by somebody else. They considered it a gift from their gods that allows them to directly translate mana, life force energy into physical energy. And they have used it to, among other things, figure out a way to animate the dead, so they can recycle dead bodies into skeletons and zombies, and they'll use them for like war games, and that's kind of how they settle disputes between their cities. And then they'll also use them like you can program a skeleton to go through and sweep up and do some of the basic day-to-day work and that sort of thing. They can also use this if they apply it to living beings. They can use that to extend out their life force. And so they actually have people who are near immortal. I mean, they can still be killed by violence and that sort of thing, but they won't age after this magic has been applied to them. So it brings up a lot of interesting concepts. Of course, because they're using it to bring the dead back to life and control zombies, they as soon as they encounter the Victorian era English, they just immediately they hated each other on sight. So it set up a whole war, and that's kind of one of our main conflict within the story in the game world. Is dealing with that in the British, this race called the Samson, with them fighting. So it's a real interesting thing, but the base that I'm going to be building is the British's base that's on the other side. They call it Fort Alice, on the other side of the portal. The portal is called the Rabbit Hole. Again, there's a bunch of Lewis Carroll references in there, so that's where all this gets started. So that was my plan, is to build up Fort Alice. What they ended up doing was running a rail line through the portal. There's also a bunch of like mystic energies and that sort of thing going on inside of this portal. When the one that they go through, there's a whole bunch of smoke and just toxic fog. Sort of a miasma that they have to go through, and to sort of protect themselves from the energies and that sort of thing, they put up an iron tunnel that goes through the portal. They just kind of shoved it in through, and they found that tends to guard against a lot of these energies that they're dealing with. The portals actually go through fairy space, and if you know about the history with fairies and that sort of thing, they have a weakness to cold iron. So that's another point of conflict is which I'm going to be introducing in some of the books, and they're going to have to kind of contend with a little bit of this. You're shoving a giant cold iron tube through the middle of fairy space, and yeah, they're not going to take too kindly to that. So that's something that I'm going to be writing out. But that will be my main base that I'm going to be building. So there will be a big iron, it will have the iron tunnel. I'll be building using a bunch of iron blocks to surround my big nether portal. So that looks like it's going through. There's going to be a rail line going through, and the best block I have found in Minecraft to simulate a rail line is just doing lines of anvils. So you'll just see them kind of running through. It makes it the perfect spacing if you can drop it down, and then you can build your train line and everything else going up over top of it. And at least to do it at a proper usable scale. Obviously, I did the one train in Scarworld 1 in the Winter District, and that was for the one based off of the Disney design. So that was that one was done at larger scale, and I intentionally did so that I could put some other details and that sort of thing into it. But I wanted to kind of show that off a little bit more. But for this one, I want to keep it at real scale, or as close to real scale as I can get with Minecraft to put in there. So for that, I really need to do the. And I'm just going to tour around for some other bases here as far as the stream's concerned. I'm just wandering around and I get so distracted talking about this game line, but I can go on about that for hours honestly, if nobody stops me. But yeah, so to get it into the proper scale, you really do need to do it with the anvils. So that's going to require a lot of iron, and then plus just the whole steampunk concept. That's going to need there's going to need to be a lot of iron just with some of the builds and that sort of thing. So it's really kind of a Victorian era military base. So it'll have that sort of a look to it. So it's kind of fairly industrial. I'm just looking through. Yeah, I don't see anything else there. Just more piglins running around. I need to set up a trading station for them at some point. I've done a little bit of just throwing gold at them and seeing what they trade with. It doesn't look like there's too much for portals down here. There is over here. Whose is this one? Does it have a label? It does not. Let's pop through, see what's going on here. Because I think the end of the tunnels there more or less equate to the current world border. And we'll have to figure out where it stretches out to from there. Let's see, whose space is this? Villager area. Can I make my way outside? That is an odd setup, but hey, I'm not going to judge. Get through there. Oh yeah, I remember seeing this one posted. I can't remember whose it was, but I remember seeing this house posted. Oh wow, so you actually terraformed this all, just dropped the dirt down. That's interesting. That's kind of like Guda's approach when he was making Chernobyl, was just to throw that down. But yeah, no, I do like that. Ooh, and actually I can see this better now that I'm looking at it in person. Okay, so you used it's cyan terracotta, I think, and then gray concrete powder. That's a cool texture effect. Okay, you really don't get to see that as well in the Discord snapshot. That looks really cool. I like that. But yeah, let's just continue to do some wandering here. Yeah, I was saying for my base. So I'm going to need to set up there will be a big rail line. I'm wanting to build some trains, build sort of that sort of military complex like what they would essentially have set up. You'd have all the military operations, but there's also civilian stuff going on there. There's a whole new world to explore, so there's no resources to exploit. And any military base also has a civilian area around it, even if it's not in the base itself. But just for the basic things to support the soldiers, for that sort of thing, where they would have their leave and doing personal supplies and that sort of thing. But there's going to be a lot of civilian operations to try and send expeditions out to exploit the resources in the Grove and make use of it. And of course, this is another one that one of the themes we're tying into with the Victorian era English, where they had the whole colonialism and that sort of thing. That just that mindset. They don't really have environmental conservation on their mind. They are very much just it's right at the cusp of the industrial area, or well, really at the peak of it. The land is out there to be exploited and used and set to use. So they're going to run into a lot of problems with some with the sort of environmental things. This will run into problems with the SAMSA. There was another race on the Grove that I forgot to talk about, and they were actually a naturally occurring race. They're called the Saurids, and they're basically lizard people. They're an interesting concept because they do live within the water, and that's tied in very closely to their birth cycle and stuff. Well, the reproduction cycle. If they try to industrialize, where it tends to pollute the water table, it just causes them all sorts of problems. And they actually have an area of their lands where they had tried to industrialize at one point, and it's still kind of just like a toxic waste dump at this particular stage. Just because it was causing them problems. It caused birth defects and that sort of thing. So they've been around on this planet for a couple thousand years, and they've just intentionally lived at a low tech level. Now they do have access to magic, so it's not super high level magic, but they do have access to it, so they can do certain things. But they're almost like hipsters for a lot of things. So rather than doing mass produced for medicines and that sort of thing, they know about antibiotics and can make them and that sort of thing, but they just kind of do them on demand. They don't do the whole mechanized industrialization, making a ton of stuff and keeping it in surplus. They just okay, you have your healer. When somebody gets sick, okay, I'm gonna go out and gather the things I need and just make the cure for it. And like I said, they just kind of make those on demand, and just do things as they need them rather than try to automate the process. It takes a little bit more manual labor, but when they've been doing it that way for several thousand, for at least 1,000 years, probably longer. They've had time to develop the techniques, and they can take the time to do it so that they can make it easier. So exploring some other ideas there of what sort of things would you be able to do if you intentionally left yourself at a lower tech level. Just looking back at the chat, thanks for joining, J-Rod. Yeah, feel free to drop by any other time that I'm streaming here. If you have hit the follow button. And you'll see when I make the announcements. I don't stream regularly. I wish I had the time in my life to be able to do a regular stream pattern, but I will do it when I can. Alright, let's see here. Where did I end up? Well, we got another water expanse. Let's grab another boat. We'll pop down a tree here. I know I don't need that much wood, but I'm not leaving any floating trees that will despawn on its own. I will need to replace that chest plate at some point. Really, just before the dragon fight, I don't particularly care about having a super good chest plate. Because once we get an Elytra, then I don't have to worry about it. Let's go out this way, because I think the world border is in... Well, obviously the world border is in every direction, but I think the closest world border was over this side. So let's just see what all is out and around. So this is a nice flat area. I don't mind a few hills, and there really should be some. So, yeah, we'll let Queen know that, yes, I am streaming. So, yeah, I don't mind having to do some hills and that sort of thing. Yeah, see, but then it gets in closer to that mountain area. I think that wouldn't be good for my base setup. There are some mountains in the area within the Grovelands, so that will be something that I could potentially send over here. Oh, Queen needs a tour. Sure, give me. Let's see. We'll send the link on over. I'm just going to finish exploring over here, just kind of seeing what's around, and then we'll pop over. I will probably just use the warp command to go home, and then I can actually pop into the nether, because it'll be a heck of a lot easier than trying to figure out, oh, that water didn't fall. Apparently these chunks haven't been loaded yet. So I don't think anybody's been over here. I know the mod said they did a bunch of preloading, but I don't think they loaded the entire world border. Alright, well, so if anybody's new coming into the server, this spot is looks to be entirely unclaimed. If you want somewhere that's just completely free and you're good with a Pine Forest Mountain area, here, what we'll do. There's the chords if you want to grab a screenshot if you like that for your space. You can go back, pause the video wherever you need to. You can see the coordinates there and kind of see what's around. I'm just going out this time just kind of until I hit the world border. I know there was a couple of people that had gone and set up huts right at the world border or just waiting for it to expand. Unless they already hit the expansion and this is past where they had loaded already. Which I suppose is possible. Yeah, wow, this is all open ocean. Actually, this may not be a bad space to do the map area at, because I would like to just build that out over open ocean, just so it's nice and flat, and then I can pop up, just go up in the air from there. Try to keep it away from land areas so I'm not loading up chunks where mobs would be. And the one thing I would like to build by the map area, I'd like to build a creeper farm. That would make it nice and easy so that there's nothing else around those chunks to load so that you can get the best spawn rates. And then even if people are coming over to use the map area, then I'll still profit because they'll get me gunpowder from the creepers. And is this possibly... Ooh, what do we got here? Well, nothing good. So either that was already explored or there's just nothing good in that one. Let's see what's down here. Curse of Vanishing. That's just drowned. You got a fishing rod. Do you have anything useful in there? Buried treasure map. But see what I'm talking about here with having the turtle helmet? It's still got full bubbles right now. And I think I heard one with a trident. Where are you? There you are. Come on, let's see if the looting 3 works for me. Oh, come on, that should have hit the shield. Did I get it? Did not get it. Dang. I picked up something there. Man, we got a little drowned city down here. Is there a chest in there? I don't think so. Oh, nope, there it is. What do you got? Oh, hang on, network dropped. I don't know if the stream dropped here. It looks like it was reconnecting. Give me a second. My network dropped. Let me get back in. There we go. It looks like it's coming back up here. Okay, we're back. Whoa, and I think they all kind of popped in there where I was. Well, that was certainly interesting, although I didn't take damage from them. Oh, nope, yes I did, yes I did. Alright, let me get out of there. Very lucky that I didn't die there. Alright. Coming out. Alright, let's get back down here. Get that out of my way. Come on. I just want to see what's in this chest. Oh, they're all coming in. Alright. Yeah, I gotta bug out there. Well, since my network reset, I don't know if that was... That's me lagging or the server lagging. Wow, look at all these guys. And no more of them have tridents. You know what? Unless this had a block on it. Maybe it did. Aha! That's why it's not opening. Alright, is there anything good in here? Another buried treasure map, and it's probably the same one. Oh, and an emerald. I will take an emerald. Is there anything at this one? Nope. Alright, well, I already have a Heart of the Sea, so if anybody wants one, I'll sell this map to you. Let me get the cords pulled up again here. F3 there, so I will do that F2 just to grab my own screenshot for it. So, yeah, I'll post about that Discord later, so if somebody wants the treasure maps here, let's just double check and make sure they're probably the same. Yep, same one. So I don't know where exactly it is. You know what, actually, while I'm here, I can do that. We'll see if I can find where this thing is located. Let's see if I go off this direction. I can at least give you the starting point. And then if somebody wants to buy it, they can just pick up the map. Because it should be relatively close to here. I don't know which direction, though. Let's see. There's a swamp over there. Yeah, once I've found where the location is here, or if I've dithered around enough where I just give up, then we'll go pop over to Queen's Place. see here. But yeah, I definitely don't want to set it up in a swamp area. I don't want that dark green texture, and I don't want that color to the water. I will probably end up using a lot of the nether trees and that sort of thing. You'll make it look foreign, and it's another world. So I want it to have that kind of Lost World feel to it, where it's sort of lush and that sort of thing. Aha! We are finding the space, and it looks like. And there's the world border. So if we have expanded already, this is at the border for the new expansion. So it looks like I am like right on top of it here somewhere. If somebody would like to buy this from me, I already have. I did find one on the first day. So if somebody does want it, let's see here. 3. There's the cords. So if somebody wants to buy this map off of me, you can feel free, make an offer, send it to me later, and yeah, you can get your heart to the sea if you want to dig that up. But that'll give you the fun of actually exploring and finding it. All right, let's pop over onto the land spot. Actually, let me just check this. I'm gonna take the map out of my inventory here. I just want to check this area. Ooh, there's a dark oak. This might work. Because there's a river coming in. The dark oak forests do still have, even though it's not the same bright, vibrant grass as the jungles, it does still have a nice color to it. This might work. Let's see what's around here real quick. I might have found where I'm making my space. And then what's past the world border here, just out of curiosity. Let's see what there, because I'm sure we're going to expand out again at some point. But I would like having a space where I can expand into it more later. Let's pop over just to see what's there. Yeah, just more grassland. But that is okay. I could use that if I needed to. Once my base is built, I can establish and then expand out there later. What do we got around here? Oh, a sunflower. I don't have one of those yet. I will pop one off. Come on, pick up. There you go. Dark oak area. I think I might make this work. I think I may have found where my main base is going to be. Awesome. Let's get a quick view since we've got some little bit of mountain area here. I just want to pop up where I can see and not leave floating blocks. Really? Well, we might as well tower up here since I got it. If I do come back here, I can come back with an elytra and take this down. That could work, because there are mountains in the game world, but they're kind of off in the distance, and there's sort of like an ancient ruins around it. That could work. I mean, it would be closer than what would actually be present, but this is Minecraft, and we're playing on a public world, so no, I could mess with that. I wouldn't want this big hill here, but I can take that down. we are talking about a mega base build. So tearing that single hill area down is not a big deal. Yeah, I like this place. I think this is going to be my spot. I will do another screenshot there. All right. Unexpected bonus. So I think that will be my where I end up doing there. Okay, back home. Let's go ahead and toss a few, if I can find a spare chest here. Toss these handful of oddball blocks that I managed to pick up. You know what, here, I have raw fish. Let's see if I can tame these cats. Not that. There you go. Okay, I tamed one of them. That's fine. Alright, let's pop on over to Queen's Place here. How difficult would it be to get each of the 4 saplings starting out? For that now, not hard at all. There's stuff in the spawn area. You can get all the saplings. Not difficult at all at this particular point. Somebody's got those. Let's see. Then just check it back here. For with my leaves, that's from Optifine, where it has the connected texture, so that's why they load kind of differently. You don't get the... They don't show quite the same blocky pattern like you would normally see. And, yeah, with the treacherous situation. I managed to extricate myself. I'm okay. Honestly, most of my deaths are caused by, getting heads. So, let's see. Yeah, the WCI stuff was over here. Yeah, Crane, I hope your friend is on the stream already. So, let's see. That's the door. Okay, perfect. Yep. So, well, hi, Queen's friends. Thanks for joining in. If I can remember which portal is actually hers. Was it that one? Or is that the headquarters? This might be the headquarters. But it works. Okay, that's fine. We'll do that. And yeah, once this is done, I'll pop over. Yeah, like I said, I'm just checking the back scroll. Yeah, once this is done, I can do a pop through in some of the other districts. All right, so I've only been over here a little bit. I haven't seen everything, so I don't know where all the stuff is. So you can see, yeah, this is where these guys have set up their villager for iron farms. And fairly similar design, although they're doing it with the redstone thing, so that the zombie kind of pops up and down and they've got it on a clock. There's Creed. Hi, how you doing? So yeah, I'll let you walk me around because I have no idea where I'm going yet. I've figured out a little bit of things. Oh, you guys got a big circle getting put up there. I'm assuming that's going to get built into to some sort of farm. Yeah, I don't know if you were watching my stream earlier there, Quid, but I was finishing setting up my iron farm. And I've only got 4 modules with it, but it seems like it's going okay. Lag-o-mag and other stuff. Yeah, it's the redstone magic, and I'm sure the redstone is not queen safe, because it hardly ever is. Oh, you got more kelp farm here. Let's see. Okay. Not too far off from what mine was, although you're doing it more on the micro scale as far as the growth, and then just doing a heck of a lot more of them. Well, if I can avoid falling into holes. Yeah, we're going to have to figure something out for fuel because they apparently the mods with the paper that our server's running on a paper spigot, they are just blatantly opposed to any sort of duping mechanic, even though Mojang themselves have considered it a feature at this point. FCD had talked about it, had alluded to there was a thread about it, and I found it myself. And yeah, as I described it, those guys were being a bunch of the paper admins were being a bunch of words that Scar would really need his censor button for to describe. I'm actually looking to set one of those up myself. I haven't done it yet. That'll be fun for the stream. But yeah, they were just not being nice about it. So yeah, it really sucks that we can't have the carpet duping mechanic for fuel. Okay, so yeah, we got your cactus coming in there. And I'm sure a lot of that will get put into composters. There's sugar cane coming through. Yeah, very different thing biting into a cactus than it is biting into sugar cane. Oh, yeah, pumpkin melon. I haven't done an automatic one for those. I never found the need to make an automatic pumpkin and melon farm. Again, just having a little bit of it was fine. What I ended up doing was just and then you got the sheep harvester. See, I remember setting this up for you guys last time at the map area on Scarworld 1. So I did the designs there. And that we filled in with just 2 sheep for each one. Yeah, I can't make the jump there. I don't think I'm going to be able to parkour up to show it. But you did see the one, if people were watching the stream, you saw the one that I had earlier. But alright, yeah, let's go. Let's check out this castle here. Yeah, and Scar pretty much used the same design in his stream before, where he was setting up with the in his enchanted district. He was going through the same process to figure things out. But yeah, no, I do like that they made it so that the shears work with dispensers. That has opened up so many farm possibilities and just makes the life so much easier. Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, you got a lot of nether bricks in here. Oh, and got the glass. This is so... This is all dungeon level. Ah, okay. So this is where you're going to eventually move the villagers into. Or... Yeah, well, you wouldn't be able to move the piglins in because they're going to turn into zombies if you move them to the overworld. I do like your banner designs there. And really making it so it matches your new skin colors. Yep, water. Ah, okay. So you'll just do the mega storage stuff in here. I'm wondering if I sold you on the concept of that having an auto sorter from last time. Because I saw your guys' place where you just dumped things in before. But yeah, having an auto sorter makes life so much easier. Just throw it in and let the sorter figure itself out. Yeah, these floor patterns are interesting. It's kind of cool seeing how the different blocks synergize with each other. And yep, this is the chess monster where all these things start out with. You get your in-between bases base. Awesome. Well, that looks really cool. Oh, you get... Okay, I see you got a collection of skeleton horses going on over here. So this is where all the lightning strikes have been occurring. Because yeah, we've had a bunch of thunderstorms on here. It seems like we've had a lot more on this server than we ever did on the last one. I don't know if that was something with the update or just luck of the draw or what it is, but we've had a lot of lightning storms going off. Yeah, and the rain that comes with it. Yeah, no, I mean, my perception may be skewed because last time I was living in a desert, so I didn't really see the rain. I'd still hear the thunder when that was going off, but I didn't really see rain when that occurred. But yeah, just we've had a ton of it here. So like I said, I don't know if this is something where it's just happened more with the update, or maybe it's occurring more just because we're all kept in tighter, closer quarters, and it's just how the chunks are loading. Something's going on there, but yeah, it seems like we've had a lot more than we did on the last server. All right, well, cool. Yeah, no, this looks interesting. We'll have to see how this all builds up. I'm hoping it wasn't more you were trying to show me, because I kind of started looking into the you get distracted looking at the horses. So I don't know if there was more you had to show there. All right, cool. Well, yeah, no, I'll be interested to see how it looks like as it starts to build up. Well, thanks for the tour here. I'm going to go do a little bit more wandering around. Let me see, where was the nether portals here? I can pop back in. Because there was a request to go check out the other districts. I hear portals. I don't think I can get in there, though. I gotta come over here. This is where the hole is. There we go. Alright, and I have no idea where this is going to pop me out. Hopefully I don't die. Okay, nope, solid footing. We are... Okay, yeah, that's the usual portal where I go to. I just couldn't remember where the heck it was when I was looking before. Alright, yeah, let's pop on over... I think this way gets me back into the main tunnel. I really hope you guys end up building more of a tunnel out than this, because this place creeps me the heck out. Just having it that open. Let's see. Yep, and there's the Dwarven District. Let's pop in over here, and then we can go see... So we'll just pop through some of the main districts. So we'll check this one out because it's right here. Then I can pop over for like the Wild West District. That's a little bit further off. I heard a bunch of chatter going on about the Dwarven Elven District. So, kind of want to see. This is my first time seeing it too. It looks like everything has been Dwarven at this point from the chatter. Okay, so we got Going to the dwarf hall, and we got the big mustache going down. I'm assuming this goes down into a mine. Let's go pop in here. I will say that while I was, from the opening days, I had Diggy Diggy Hole playing on a loop for myself. Yeah, that just goes into mine, so I'm not going to explore around too much here. So yeah, just had that one just going on a constant loop while I was digging out down in my mine. I think I may actually end up, if you ever go back and watch the animated video for that one, they have kind of like a almost like a mosaic set up on the walls where it was all in runes and that sort of thing, and kind of displaying the song, and with pictographs and everything showing it. I might actually end up doing a big one for that, so it would be like multiple maps to set up, and then using those to contribute to the Dwarven district. I think that would look cool, and I actually do know a runic alphabet, so I can can apply that. Wouldn't be any issues with that there. And looks like that's just somebody's starter house. Oh, I recognize that roof pattern. I actually wandered that way the other night when I was just walking, exploring. So I saw that house. I just didn't make it into the actual Dwarven district. All right, so this will be interesting. So we're going to have all the dwarves and the mountains in tucked down in here. I'm assuming then the elves are probably going to be more out. There was like a plains area over here, and I don't think anybody's built out in that style yet. Yeah, because we got like the birch forest over there, which is would have a good aesthetic for them, and as far as that sort of thing is concerned. I think we're probably waiting until people have a little bit more established, because for that you're going to want to do a lot more fancy blocks. You're going to want to do a lot more of your quartz and the sort of light colors, and make it look like kind of the tall spires and that sort of thing. If you've ever read the... Oh, well, okay, I gotta see the statue here. I didn't see that at first. If you've ever read the Shannara series by Terry Brooks, I absolutely love those books. Loved them since high school. But he actually had a mini-series that was going on for a while, and I believe it's on Netflix where you can see it. Well, the series was okay. I don't think it was as good as the books, but it was definitely interesting. Wow, yeah, that is a cool... With the yeah, I like that structure. An interesting use with the granite to give the texturation there. Oh, and a diorite beard. Oh, jeez. Oh, don't let Escal see. Oh, he would be so upset. but yeah. Well, again, I thought the TV series was just okay. I do think they did a really good job with a lot of the visuals there, and kind of displaying a lot of the things. For the style, I really think it does a good job at matching what the kind of the way the stories were painting the picture, just from the description and how it would look. Yeah, I won't spoil anything because I absolutely love that series. So if you do go read it, then yeah, no, I mean, by all means, I can't recommend it enough. I love Terry Brooks' writing, and I love those stories. They're fantastic. But yeah, no, definitely check it out because I really like the way that looked. But yeah, again, if you go look at the TV show, again, I don't think the TV show was as good as the books. It was made for like MTV or something, if I remember correctly, and they were very much kind of playing it as like a teen drama and trying to transform it there, which, it was okay, but it wasn't. I don't think that particular aspect of it was quite as true to the story. I mean, you're moving it into a different medium, so you're going to take some liberties with certain things. But just for the aesthetics of it, I love the aesthetics they set up for the different cities, and especially the Elven city. I thought that looked really cool. But all right, we're popping on over here. Hi there. Yep, sorry, just getting out of your way. Let me pop over to the Wild West District, because I believe that one's a little bit further. I don't know when the cardinal directions here, just a little bit further down the tunnel. Okay, wow, that's that's an interesting banner. I haven't seen that before. And I did see that one for the mining district. I don't know that that's the best one. It just kind of looks like a blue torch almost. But yeah, this in here. Yeah, there's the Wild West district. That is the Nether Fortress, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna end up digging that all out again, just like we did last time. We'll do another big dig. There's the mining mesa area, and then the Wild West district should be down here. Yep. So yeah, again, this was my first time popping in here, so we'll see how this is looking. I popped over to the pirate district very briefly when I had first joined in. There wasn't really anything built up yet. And that was just to grab a couple of supplies from there. So I was testing the item duping thing, so I was grabbing some coral fans. And that was really about it. Okay, so we got, this looks like just an opening little farmhouse here. Almost like a little ranch. Interesting. I mean, it fits the style for the Wild West, so that's interesting. Let's see, what do we have around? It's so hard to explore most of this from the ground. So you'll really get more of a view of things once I can get an elytra and can actually fly. And with permission, I may end up doing when we go to do the build tours. I may stream those as well. They usually don't like me streaming those, just because I know certain people don't want their builds shown off, which is fine, totally up to them. And sometimes people just don't like being on the stream for the audio. So, no judgment on that. Totally your call. A handful of times I will record it for people, just when they're specifically on the stream, where they're part of the group and they just didn't get the chance to see the Ustream, like if they had to work or whatever, so I'll just record it and then I'll send them the file later. I've done that a handful of times. People are usually fine with that. But yeah, they don't always like having it broadcasted, which is, again, totally fine. Alright, so I don't know how to get up there, but it looks like that's kind of set up as like a little saloon or something. Just going off of the roof style there. It does look weird having this bordered by a flower forest, though, so bit of an oddball with the biomes. Oh, and somebody's been mining some melons and pumpkins. And there's villagers inside of there. Yeah, I don't know where all the builds are at this particular point to be able to show you off anything specific. And again, I just haven't toured any of these yet, and I don't think people have had that big of a chance, or that much of a chance to build up anything super big, where it's like really obvious. So I think that's all still sort of getting done. But I mean, we've only been on this server for a week, and just seeing some of the stuff people have already built is pretty insane. I know there's some people like me where it's just and how much you've built. They're on the server. I am one of them. Although a lot of the time I'm spending, I'm just AFK, and I've been intentionally doing that where I can AFK and not have to spend a lot of attention on it, just to run farms and get supplies. Having the villagers makes that super convenient, where I don't actually have to be going and digging blocks and gathering stuff. I can just kind of idle and let the villagers get stuff for me, and then I just got to trade emeralds. And then I can get things going with the emeralds. Alright, looks like there is a thing there. And yeah, no, and that is a fair point. I see their deal with regarding the build thing for paying for the tier 4. So no, I get that too. I think a lot of the benefit from it is actually getting, number one, just getting that attention with Scar to show off your build, so you can see that. So even if other people were seeing the stream or whatever, you get you're still getting that individual attention, so you still get the value from that. But no, I get what you're saying. Oh, it looks like there might be some builds in there. Let's see what's over here. Yeah, but either way, I never stream without getting, for things like that, without getting permission. Just always good to be courteous. There's a couple of builds in here. Okay, so they're kind of tucked into that valley there. I'm just doing a quick glance because I don't know how to get in there super easy. Let's see if I can make my way down here without dying. Yes, okay. I can do it. Okay, yeah, there's a couple of builds thrown up in here. Yeah, see, this looks like a much more... Okay, then this looks like it's going down into the mine. I think this is probably a more central portal than the other one. So they may end up using that more. Alright, let's pop through. Let's go see the other districts real quick before we wrap up here. So that way... Which way's the main? This one goes back to the tunnel. Alrighty. And let's see. Scarworld Winter Olympics. Okay, that'll be interesting. We'll have to see how that comes through. I'm not going to look at that one just yet. We'll take a look at it. Oh, and the server's going to do its restart. That's fine. We'll deal with the restart and pop back through. Yeah, just double checking, making sure none of the other public areas at this particular point. That one, that's just the mining desert. Yeah, most of the public one seems to be the nether signs. So that's what I've been looking at. I think most of them are the warped ones. And yeah, that's staying null. I'll leave those for now. Nope, not that one. That just shows there. Which one's down this way? We already checked that way. Pirate and Enchanted. Yes, let's go to these. And we haven't set up the ice paths or any of that yet in here. We'll get that figured out eventually. We haven't discussed yet the design we're going to do for the nether tunnels. I think we'll probably want to do like one of them where you got the ice path option, and then one of them where you have like soul soil, so that if you do happen to get the soul speed enchantment, you can just pop in and use that. Alright, so here is the pirate district. And we may get interrupted just midway through here when the server reset occurs. It should be pretty quick. It usually is. Alright. I'm going to borrow the boat here. We'll bring it back. Let's see, what all we got here? I did notice those going up last time I was over. I think that's just being gathered. Oh, we got a Skull Island coming up here. That's interesting with the blue flames coming on there. It kind of looks like almost like Bumbo teeth. I should come back and put a mustache on it. I don't think I will, but that would be funny. what would you even name a skull bumbo? Bumbo Skulloni, or I don't know how you would call that one. Oh, I can't help but look at things with a face without looking for a bumbo. You just get the skull vision now. All right, so there's a ship that's making it's in progress. Let's paddle around here. I was about to say, yeah, that foundation didn't look natural, so this is getting established. It hasn't come back up yet. Oh, okay, there's two of them. I wonder, so is this... That's not natural. So I think they're making that into a cove area, would be my suspicion. Okay, there's a small boat in a little port town here. Ah, okay, and they're building a flat spot, so something big's going to go in there eventually. Okay, yeah, no, this one's kind of, the on-the-water port town. I've seen that design before, and it's an interesting concept to do. Especially if you can make use of, like, trapdoors and that sort of thing. Let's see, anything else around here? Oh, there's something big that's going up. They're doing the Scar style where they outline it in dirt first. And somebody has a pile of sand protected by glass. I don't know. I'm sure there's something else more important in there, but we'll leave it be. Yeah, here we get all the warm ocean. I do love the corals and how those look. I may need to come back and grab some more of those and add them for my other water areas. Yep, and the restart's just about to occur here. Oh, there's a shipwreck in the corals. Which is kind of interesting to have that in, just natural generation in here. Alright, we're about to reset, so I'm going to stop moving. Yep, there it is. We'll give this just a moment here. Bumbone Skeletona. Yes, I like that. That's good. I might actually have to do that now. Oh, that'll be interesting here. Oh, God. Okay. Let's see if you're back up already. Yeah, no, I think it's in the process. Connection throttled. Okay, so it just needs a minute here. We'll let it do its thing here. Let's see how that is. There we go. Now we're back. Alright, so yeah, so things are getting started. I mean, kind of what you would expect it to be the first week of a server. So it's all still getting underway. Like I said, there's been a handful of spots where there's just been some insane progress, but people's attention is divided right now. A lot of them are still setting up shops. Everybody's still gathering resources. You can only build for so long before you, right now you don't have all that supply built up, so you got to jump back into a mine and re-grab stuff. So it's going to take time. But, I mean, some people have, especially when they're working together, you can have one person down underground just doing all the digging for you, and then the other person comes up and puts up the building. And honestly, that's kind of how Commander Cascade and I set up our shop. Is he had the design, and he wanted to build that, so I just went through and I gathered a bunch of the supplies, especially since I had the villagers for it at the time. I think he might have had some villagers, but I don't think he had a steady supply of emeralds just yet. This is a cool floor design, by the way. I like how the blackstone plays off with the polished diorite. Now, what is this? I don't think this is the district. I think this is somebody else's thing. It's not labeled as the district, so I'm sure it's not. Actually, I think that's it there. But yeah, if you're tag team and stuff like that, you can gather up a bunch of supplies much faster. Yep, Enchanted District. This is the one. Alright, what do we have going on for Enchanted Forest? Okay, so the portal's gotten built up a little bit. That's good. Oh, we got a nice waterfall going off here. Oh, is this going to a boat ride? Oh, Scar will love that if it goes off to a boat ride. I think this is a little too steep for a boat ride. Whoa! That was not what I meant to do. That's okay, I do have feather falling. Okay, so a couple of starter items here. Tons of vines coming down. I don't think people have string yet to limit growth where they want it to be. But we've got a little bit of pathing going through here. Oh, this was right on top of a jungle temple, and that is definitely going to have been raided already. Let's see what we have up here. Just sort of following the path around. What's down this way? Oh, someone died. We got all the F's in the chat. This path doesn't really lead to anywhere at this point. Right at this stage, I think the Enchanted Forest is more forest than enchanted. It's probably still got some time to go before this is fully set up. And looks like... oh, somebody's building up a little tree base here. That's a cool design. I don't want to go up into people's bases as much as I can avoid it. Okay, yeah, or if I can get a clear vantage point. Yeah, not with the bamboo there. No, but that is a cool design. I do like those where you can make it wrap around the tree. Alright, but let's see here. We still need to go see the Space District. And yeah, that one I have not seen at all. If I can find my way back to the portal. I don't even know where the portal is right now. Is that it? Yep, there it is. Okay, let's pop back in here. Oh, somebody's got a house going. Let's take a quick peek there. That's still under construction, but yeah, nice basic design. But I mean, they got the good awnings and everything, so yeah, that looks good. Yeah, I think it's going to take some time, but especially once I can get an elytra, like I said, then I can actually jump up and see more things, so you can see it from the air. Alright, so those are other people's bases. We'll let them do their thing. And let's head back into the main hub so we can branch to the other tunnels. I don't know if the mods did setups for this with the tunnels, because they are, for the most part, very open in the areas. You get a couple like that where it's covered over, but for the most part, this is so open. There it goes. So I don't know if the mods did this intentionally, or because they were setting up some things before we actually got on, or if that just spawned that way. And I haven't done a lot of exploring in the Nether to see that. Oh, yeah, I do see, yeah, Hindu and Rum had their base. They've shown some images of it on Discord, so I'll leave you to look there, but that house is really cool. That's BC's. Where is our space district? It should be down this way. Space district. Let's take a look here. I don't know that anybody's actually been doing a lot of building here. This is another one where a lot of the block palette you would use would probably be more higher end. You'd want to use a lot more of your high-tech blocks. You'd need a lot of glass. You need a lot of just stuff that needs to be gathered a lot. You probably want a lot of quartz, a lot of iron blocks. Although there is... Yeah, this does have quite a setup built up here. But yeah, I apparently started a trend with putting space stuff in a desert. So I just found that amusing. Okay, so we've already got a couple of domes set up in here. That's an interesting support pillar design. I like that. I think the only thing I'd do different there would be in that central block. I'd probably put like glowstone or something, or a sea lantern once we can get a hold of those, and just so that way there's some uplight coming, so that way when you're seeing it from a distance at night, you'd get that sort of upglow there. That would look really cool. Okay, so we've got a space station coming up in here. That's cool. I'm really curious to see what designs people come up with this one. Because, I mean, that's not what I wanted to do. I like, noticed that hole right as I was falling into it. Could have been a lot worse. Okay. But, like, I've already done this... Yeah, the last time I built Mos Eisley, so I already had that in there. I don't know that I'm going to do a whole lot of building over in this particular district, but I'm interested to see what other people do with it, and especially just that kind of openness with it. I'm really curious to see if anybody else does any other starships, because that was interesting for me to be able to build that up. I had never done anything like that before. For those sort of vehicles, and just kind of taking those pictures from real life and putting it into Minecraft. I was doing that as a challenge to myself, and I think they turned out really cool, just in terms of the stuff I was able to build and set up on there. I really enjoyed that process, so I think I'm going to do more of that as I go through. That's kind of where I'm thinking where I can apply that with the other base, because I mean, even though for my game line, it is a fantasy game line. There's an alternate history and that sort of thing set up. But a lot of it is based off of like real world steam engines and that sort of thing. And we actually do have an art team that's putting together things. So that's one of the cool parts, is I can actually take pictures and things that they create for the game line and then try to apply that into Minecraft. I think that'll be really fun. So it doesn't even have to be something that actually exists, but somebody's putting together, for other stuff, they've already put together a picture of it, so now I can try to build it. Especially having the armor stand book, that opens up so many possibilities to be able to do sort of small details and that sort of thing. Obviously, I try to limit that because they count as entities, so that will cause more lag if it's loaded up longer. But once it gets more into the late game and things, that starts to improve. You can throw more armor stands and that sort of thing. Okay, we apparently have like a meteor crash site. Let's see, anything else going on out here? A whole lot of torch spam. And there is not a good way to light up sand. There just is not. So, yeah, more power to you guys as you're building this up. I wish you well, but you're going to have a hell of a time trying to light up sand. It just doesn't work. We don't have beige glass. Okay, we got a couple of claims, but I don't think there's anything quite built just yet. Alrighty. And there's a hot tub. Yeah. Apparently anytime there's a lava pool, Scar's thing now is just calling that a hot tub. I made the joke before that I need to put a pool of lava and build a TARDIS around it, so that way it's some kind of hot tub time machine. And yeah, I don't know if Scar will get it, but because I don't know if he's a Doctor Who fan. But yeah, I have to do that. Alright, let's pop back into the Nether. I think there was one other district, if I remember correctly. I might be derping. Yeah, this is back to the South Tunnel. I think this was the main way. No, that's not, because that goes into the end. Well, the end of the tunnel. Not the end dimension. I'm not a particular fan of going into the end dimension, but it has some things we need. Especially, I'm going to need end rods to be able to finish the build for my map clear design, because that's going to rely upon a hopper minecart mechanic that I figured out. But I'll show it here at the end. So let's see. We did Dwarven Elven, we did Wild West. We saw the shopping district. I don't think there's another district that way. We saw Pirates. We saw Enchanted. We saw the Space District. I think that's all we had, really. At least for the main ones. I mean, obviously there's a ton of things going on right now, with everybody still setting up. This one took back to my starter house. So let me just pop on through. I'll put myself at a safe location. And before I sign off, I will go ahead and I'm going to show off my, pop into my single player reward, and I will show off the map making design that I figured out here. Alright, let me now pop myself up into my AFK area. I will probably do a little bit more playing here once I'm done, but just to kind of as I wrap up on the stream. Got to do all the, the usual health break sort of things. The cat's going to get locked in here with me. Oh, maybe not. Maybe it did run out. Alright, well, let's pop off of here. And then I'm going to pop into my single player. And you can see this is where I was testing out my iron farm design. So I had that stuff here. Again, I had adjusted it a little bit from here. But this is running in optimal settings. So you can kind of see the difference for things. But this is my map maker. Well, my map clearer anyway. So you can see this area covers... Let's see, do I have the... Oh, did I destroy the map? I must have. Okay, well, I can make another empty map. That's not a big deal. Let's go here. Empty map. And this pumps it here, so we'll just pop it under the offhand so you can see. So right now it's all just blank lines, white except for the dispensers. The dispensers all have water buckets in them. It's not, if you were to ever go and do this yourself, it's not required that you use the sea lanterns or anything. Although I do recommend using either sea lanterns or glowstone in the floor, at least enough to light it up so that you don't get mob spawning on here when there's not carpets on top of it. And the whole idea with this is to use carpets specifically because they pop off easier. You can use other blocks if you need to get those specific shades, but you're going to have to mine those manually. You're not going to be able to use this auto clear function. And the idea with this is because of the cleanup, you want to clear this as easy as possible, just so that it's very minimal effort on your part to be able to clear it. And here I've got a single one of the modules so you can see how it works. So we got the line of dispensers that come up here. These all have water buckets in them. When I go over to this end, I'll show you on the main one. When I press the button, it sends the signal down. We've got repeaters set up far enough so that it will shoot off the dispensers. This fires every single dispenser on here. I tried doing it with spacing other ones, but the water streams don't work right. But you can do it with a single torch that will fire this one, and this one. So the single torch going off will fire 3. You won't need repeaters on here because as long as you have the space between, your redstone runs into the block, and then it will that makes it fire off and turn off the torch. And then when it comes back on after the pulse ends, that's what causes the dispenser to fire. The only thing you need repeaters for is to repeat the signal as it extends down. And when you're doing it, you'll see it's 15 blocks is how far out your redstone can stretch out. So you'll see on there how far you need to go to run your repeater spacing. No timing on those, just keep them spaced out. They'll run through. I mean, you could play with timings if you want, but it's not going to make a difference because that just extends out to that, and in that period it ends. From your input, when it comes through here, this is the timer that causes enough delay for the items to move, and you'll see it when I go to do it on the main one. So when it comes through here, I've got all of these set to max delay, and there's enough where it would be 36 delay. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. You bring around the corner, 5, 6, 7, and then this one just starts the signal fresh here so that it can stretch down the line. But that puts it as enough delay. The idea behind this is when the water comes up, it's going to dispense out and it will break the carpets that are on top here. They'll all, because this is blocked off, they'll all start to flow down. And these are spaced 5 blocks apart. Or water flows 7 blocks. So including the block for the source block. So it would go down here, it'll stretch and it'll push the carpets to here. By the time this one goes off, because the carpets will have been moved, this one goes off, it then stretches them down to here. And then you get the delay in here, this one goes off, and it just keeps pushing them and pushing them and pushing them down the line until it eventually ends up in this trench. And this is where all the carpets are going to get dumped into. They just fall through. I have this set up as a set of half slabs, so the carpets will just be sitting on here. But this means a hopper minecart does not have to be on a rail in order to pick them up here. And what I use to pick up the carpets, this is a mechanic I figured out. You can use a flying machine, and you can actually stack multiple hopper minecarts in a single space. So the way you do that is you'll put down a rail, and let me grab hopper minecart. So if I grab this, I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I can stack them all up on here and create a bunch of them. So now if I punch, it destroys, but I got to shuffle through all of them. They're all still stacked there, and they're on one spot. I'm just putting that back. So they can stack them into a single space. You can then use a piston to push an end rod into the middle of them, and that end rod will make them move. They'll follow this end rod when it gets shoved back and forth. These sticky pistons can grab the end rod, so if I wanted to send this back, as of right now there's nothing else going on here. Let me see, where did I have my inputs for this? It's been a while since I looked at it. I have an observer here so that it will do a 1-tick pulse on it. I don't know where I put how I had the input set up, so let's just grab. It's been a while. It's been a week since I looked at this thing because I had that going on. I've been busy working at Scarworld. So let's go here. I gotta go like this, and then if I just place a block down. There. So when it's on the observer pulse, it's short enough where it will just push them out. So you can see it pushed the hoppers onto the sticky pistons here for the flying machine. So now, when I reactivate the flying machine, which if I remember correctly is this one, it's pulling those hoppers along. Oh, that's right. I was doing some testing, so I stopped it. So that's where it moved it back to. So let me do this. If I send it back, we'll pretend that that went all the way down. When it comes in, this observer fires. Oh, okay, that's why I didn't do it. I had that set off here. This block would be extended out. I apparently don't have the lever on for that to be there. When I extend this here, it powers the block, and then it fires this off. So we can just break the block. It would then pull these on to the hoppers, and then it will just feed them through. But if I stack up enough hopper minecarts, they have enough slots inside of them to be able to grab all of the item drops. Let's just do this. I'm going to turn that off so I don't have to mess with it here. And let's break the blocks. And I will show this off if I can remember here. While I'm doing here, when I power that or change the power setting on it, it just the observer detects it so it can send it back. I was trying to figure out an auto return mechanism and I hadn't gotten that far yet. But let's see. I lost my notepad here, so I gotta test. One other one to point out on here, you'll notice at the very top row, you don't see the row of dispensers. This is just above this block here is the edge of the map. This is just past it. If I don't have this block just past it, then it creates a shadow on the map. So I did that just so that way it can keep all the coloring evenly spaced on there. But yeah, if I go here, I remember it's... I'm just getting a notepad pulled up so I can type these up here. I remember the y coordinate is 12. So 320, 12, and negative 64. And I think I had to go back one. All right. Fill 320. Let's do 325. You know what, let me make sure which direction I'm going. So it was fill 25, 12. Negative 62, 26. 12, 61. And then fill that with Minecraft black. Oh, missed the underscore. Carpet. Okay, so we got the Y level right. Then it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it would be 320. Let's repeat this one. So it should be then 320, negative 64. Okay, nope, I have to go to negative 65. Yes, that gets that one. And then I need to go to the opposite corner. And I believe this one was 448. let's go for... Let's go back 1. I think it's 448, but we'll just double check it. Line level stays the same. Then we go 67. Let's see where this fills to. Okay, no, we do need to increase both of those by 1, so it should be 447.68. There we go. Okay. So now that I can take that off on here, you can see, and you can see on the map in the lower left, the entire area is filled in black carpets. The only reason I use black carpets is because it shows up in contrast really nice against the white lighting. So once I go through, I hit the button. That will set up my pulse. So you can see it's starting down the way. And you can see the items are making their way past the dispensers as the water flows. So it gets all the way down to the end here. Once it gets to the last one, after the water is dispensed, the signal goes ahead and it automatically fires the flying machine. So it'll all come in here. So I'm going to come down to this end where you can see it. But you can see, and again, you can see on the mini-map, even if the whole area isn't updated until I go past it, but you can see how the water is flowing down, and it's pushing all of the carpets down this direction. So normally this would probably take about 2 hours to do manually, and I had to do it myself before a couple of times. So it is a pain in the butt to try and clear all this up. But yeah, we're almost to the end here, and you can see the flying machine is in here. When the pulse gets to the end, it's just going to go through. Oh, I turned that off. That was my fault. I'll have to manually fire it. I forgot I took this redstone dust out while I was testing. But when the pulse reaches the end, it would just fire this redstone dust and trigger this trapdoor, which updates the flying machine, which I can just do manual. So now as I send that through, the flying machine's going through. Remember, it has those hopper minecarts on it, and it's grabbing all of the items through the blocks. And the reason I have all those hopper minecarts stacked up is so that it has the chance to grab all these items, because we're grabbing a lot. You can see from the command on there where it had to fill in, it's over 16,000 blocks. You can see the combined from the last two on here is where it's at. There's a ton of blocks that it needs to fill in, so multiple stacks. Filling an entire map with one color takes just under 6 chests. 6 double chests, excuse me. So it's a lot of items to be able to fill in there. But as it's going through, it's picking up every single one of them. They're hopper minecarts, so they're grabbing it all super quick. Once it gets into the end here, and let me go ahead and move this into the on position so that this will fire. Once this flying machine comes through, it'll trigger this observer, which should trigger the redstone and then cause this to extract, and then it will start pulling the items in. There it is, and you can see that pulled them, so they're going through. It pulls it into the hoppers, and then this is starting a clock. I haven't figured out this one just yet. It's being odd, and I need to play with the delay timing on there. But it seems like this second set of hoppers just doesn't pick up quite as many items, so it doesn't disperse them out as fast, which causes this jumping behavior. And from my testing, I can actually, it seems like I can stack these almost infinitely and not cause any additional lag spikes or anything. It seems like it treats, as far as the game's concerned for lag and that sort of thing, it kind of treats this massive hoppers like one entity. So it seems to work okay. So I think, I don't even know that I have to have the split in two. I can probably just do it with a single one and be okay. But I'd have to have something like 50 hopper minecarts. I got to go back and recheck the math. But just to make sure I have enough overage to verify it'll all get put... there's enough capacity to cover all of it. But then when it comes up in here, and then it just goes into... I set this up where it would be a simple just item sorter mechanism where it would come up on here. Not anything super detailed or anything like that. I've got it set where you'll have multiple... You'd have like 3 of them... Or no, I'm sorry, there's 3 double chests, so you'd have 2 slots for each one, so that way you make sure you have sufficient capacity for the hoppers to be able to pick them all up. They won't make it past here, as long as there's space for them to go. You can see, if I go into this one, there is a couple. Oh, because these are full. So they are rolling over into this one. But yeah, you'll see that as long as there's capacity for it, the hopper should be able to keep pace and pick up on there. But even if I needed to do 3 modules, that's not that big of a deal, just to make sure that they have sufficient space. So the water just pulls them up on here in the item elevator. It hits the honey block, and then because it's on the honey block, it's technically 1 pixel over. So this way, it can run simultaneously on the ice block and here, so we can use the that mechanic to just push them through as quick as possible, rather than have to rely on the slower, just making a hopper chain, which, like I said, that gets really slow as far as the ticks and that sort of thing is concerned. But yeah, once that's done, I would just come back and push the button again, and that will turn the water off. I already have the redstone broken over there, so it's not, even if it did send the signal off over there, the flying machine's not there anymore, so it's not going to worry about interfering with it. If I can set it up, I would like to have it so that there's also a pulse that comes off of here, so that when I run this, it will turn off it will push the hopper minecarts back onto the flying machine, and then have a little bit of a delay for that to occur, and then send the flying machine back off. So I haven't figured all that out just yet. I should be able to do it without worrying about these two sides interfering with each other, because the flying machine's only ever going to be in one spot or the other. So if it's over here, I don't care what if the trigger goes off there, it's not there to detect it. And if it's over there, I don't care about the trigger going off here, because it's not going to detect that either. So again, just things I haven't finished playing with yet, which I'll get to eventually. But yeah, this is the thing where it needs 46 stacks of these things to be able to do, just for all these dispensers. And yeah, this probably would work for Cub's thing. Cub did his so that he was just pushing. He was pushing pistons up with the water mechanics. I couldn't get that to function right using pistons rather than the dispensers. It just didn't want to flow right for me, but I figured this way it's compact where I can just put it wherever I want to. The other part that he had to deal with is he was doing it like right at the surface of the water, so he had to deal with water in the redstone, so his all was based on observers. I'm just trying to make this extremely resource light so I can build it as early in the game as possible. I don't have to worry about getting enough quartz to build observers and make massive chains there, and then having the associated delay with it. This just needs a handful of repeaters, dust, and redstone torches. I mean, honestly, even if I didn't have the automatic pickup mechanism, you could manually go through and just walk along the path and pick them up. And that's kind of what Cub does, is he stretches his out as well. He doesn't have as many water stations because he's just letting them flow into the middle. So like he wouldn't have the central station. He would just have water coming up here and here. It flows on a row, and then he just runs along and picks it up, which you could do. I mean, there's no problem with going and doing it that way, but I want to do it where it's as automatic as possible. So when I go to clear a map, I push up single button, and then I just go into a safe AFK spot so these chunks are loaded, and I just leave it. And I can let it clean itself up overnight. It'll go through here, it'll go into an automatic item sorter, and we'll let the item sorter run. And it can just kind of do its thing. That's another reason why I want to build like a creeper farm. If I build this out in the ocean, that'll make sure that there's no chunks loaded, so we can get the best spawn rates. And then while I'm AFK, I'm getting gunpowder at the same time. So that's kind of my goal for that one, to be able to do that. But yeah, just make this as simple as possible, so that it can feed through. The main limiting factor is that at some point you have to go through a single hopper, so it can only go as fast as that hopper is able to put the items through. And you can see it's pushing them into here, so it's pushing it out as soon as it comes out. You can see on this one, because of the way they're stacked, it's not coming through is constant, and that's why this thing keeps pulsing back and forth. But basically, as far as this mechanism is concerned, when there's items inside this hopper, it detects it with the comparator that fires this block, which pushes the observers down and sets up the clock, and then the observers firing into this block, which fires the dropper, so it could just push them out into the item stream. But yeah, that is what I've been tooling around with in my free time on here. That was what I had kind of spent the week prior to the server opening. It was figuring all this out. And actually figured out the fill commands, so I managed to get those to work, right? I'd never used those before. And then also use figure out using the clone command. Actually, before I used the clone command, I had built this manually. I had a whole other setup I was trying as well with flying machines, and doing a big flying machine going across to then send out to go through pickup. That was working, and it would have worked, but because of the flying machines going, there was just so much extra lag involved, and it was even making my machine chug. And I have a beast of a PC gaming machine, so that was taken up. It just took up a lot of space. The lag time on there, so I just didn't want to keep that one. It would just crash the server every time it unloads. Whereas this is manageable. This we can definitely deal with. I think I could probably even go, because you can stack carpets up multiple times and get some extra shading effects and that sort of thing. So it might do that for some things. But I've got a feeling, as far as the entity count is concerned, you could probably stack the entire thing up 2 or 3 times, and you'd probably be able to handle it, even if it covered the entire map. Just as far as the entities are concerned, I don't think that would cause a huge amount of concern as far as that one with the lag, or at least from my single player test. Now, obviously, the server's probably going to chug a little bit when you throw that on there. The main thing is the redstone, where it can cause more of the item problems. But as far as the redstone's concerned here, this is extremely, extremely simple for the machine. I mean, obviously, trying to get this in and compact it and that sort of thing is complicated. And again, I don't consider myself a redstone expert, so take that as you will here. But just trying to get these things into a circuit this simple where it compacts. This is easy for a server to handle, but yeah, it would be complicated for a person to build this. Obviously, like I said, this is why I spent like a week trying to figure it out. I'm sure if I dragged Mumbo in here or something, he'd probably figure it out within about an hour or two. Now, even though he's a spoon, he actually does manage to figure out redstone pretty quickly. So that would be cool if he did. But yeah, all right. Well, I think that about wraps up everything I had wanted to show on here. Like I said, just kind of checking in for things as far as Scarworld's concerned. You can look forward to going to keep doing some more streams as I have time. But I just wanted to kind of show off what things have been worked on and where things were at. So anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning to the stream. I had a lot of fun. Hope you guys did too. And I'm glad to see you get more people go through. So have a good rest of your night, and we'll see you guys next time.